Turn it up. It's Sports Day with Dan Day.
Woo! Back at you. It's been a while. Thank you so much. I am Dan Day along with my cousin Vladimir Louison. A lot going on in the sports world, and we're going to talk about the Dolphins and their slim chances, but chances nonetheless to get into the playoffs. The Miami Hurricanes, not such a slim chance, but still their chance to get into the college football playoffs. Panthers, they've hit a little bit of a rough patch, and they've got some challenges ahead of them, but hey, you got to trust in Paul Maurice, Matthew Tkachuk, Sergei Bobrovsky, and the defending Stanley Cup champions. So much more, but we got to start today, with the fight last night.
Oh, man.
Everyone, let me tell you, what a fight. First of all, kudos to everyone that fought. The female fight that
was
before,
the best fight.
It was unbelievable. So I want to put a name, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. What an unbelievable fight. If you were not a fan of female boxing or boxing in general, that one turned you on last night.
I don't know if it turned me on, but it was a good little scrap between two humans.
Turned me on to fighting, to watching the fight. It was good.
All right.
If you don't think that was a good fight, well,
no, I said it was a good fight. I think it was a very good fight.
Great fight. Absolutely wonderful fight. Then Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, pretty much win as I expected.
Of course.
I do want to ask you this, Vlad. After last night, has the world come around to my view on Jake Paul? Much likable character. Much more.
I don't know if he's likable, but I mean, listen, I'm just saying that because I like the fact that he's playing the role. I mean, he's got a punchable face. Mm-hmm. Look, credit to him. He's actually a way better boxer for a guy who started late. He's a better boxer, but yeah, he carried Mike. Like, yeah. You know, we all thought that maybe, Mike might have done one shot, but here's the thing with these exhibition fights. There's no way they could afford for what's his name to lose. You know what I mean? They can't afford for him to lose because it's not good for the product. And it's not good for him to beat up a 61-year-old man, like bludgeon a 61-year-old man, especially a legend and a Hall of Famer. But yeah, man, I got to give it to him. I got to give them credit. I got to give Jake Paul credit. I got to give Logan, the Paul brothers, credit for what they've done in taking their internet sensation and bringing it into the sports entertainment world. And listen, you know who I got to give? You know who was laughing their ass off yesterday?
I don't know.
Amazon.
Okay.
You see you see how it feels, Netflix, when you're trying to do a live sporting event the first time.
Start catching it.
Yeah. Netflix was catching a lot of flack because the stream was going down and buffering and everything like that. But hey, man, they got 72,000 people to go to Dallas. Oh. And, that's just as much people got go to a Dallas Cowboy game or any type of big-time college football game in that stadium in Jerry Dome. And they got the celebrities out there. Rosie Perez was actually better than I thought as a commentator.
I love Rosie Perez. And, White Man Can't Jump is my favorite movie. She did not add a lot to the broadcast last night. I'm sorry, man. Keeping a buck. I love Rosie Perez. Don't get me wrong. But look.
But yeah, man.
Jake Paul.
First
of all, brought Tyson in, helped him make a ton of money. Great fight. Upstanding guy. Also, he campaigned to get those two ladies to fight the co-headlining fight. That was him that got that.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's beautiful. Whatever. I mean, shout out. I mean, when they were giving him his when they were running his stats, and I'm like, yes, try to, what's fair and equal share for women's boxing. I'm like, oh, that's great, but is that really a stat we're putting in? Well, you see Mike Tyson, 42 knockouts and all of this, and knocked out like 8 Hall of Famers or something. But yes,
Jake Paul made that happen.
Jake Paul made it happen for women to get equal pay in boxing.
It was just a great event altogether. It was a great fun event.
I tell you this, now after seeing him gain all that weight, roided up out of his mind.
Oh, he's huge.
And he's really shown that he can box, right? And people still want to see him get knocked out. I have to fight for him. This will sell.
It was cool. You
ready for the fight?
It was excellent.
No, you ready for the fight that he needs to do next?
Oh, the fight that he needs to do next would be Jake Paul versus, I don't know, Bret the Hitman Hart.
No, Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder's not been the same since Tyson Fury knocked him out. He
Yeah.
lost to two bums after that.
Was that the guy that came in and said the reason he lost was because he wore a headgear that was too heavy?
Yes. He's no bigger than Jake Paul.
Jake Paul's huge,
right? But like he was I want to say a slender heavyweight champion, Deontay Wilder.
Yeah,
and he's a one punch, pony.
Yeah, he's got some punching.
But you could sell that fight now because that would be against a legitimate boxer who needs the money now because he's not in the top of the heavyweight division.
Right.
But shout out to them, man. They,
Did Jake Paul pull any punches last night?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I think they both did. In the first round, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul spun around. I'm like, oh my God. Like you left yourself open like that. And I'm like,
there were some times both of them let themselves wide open.
And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And I'm like, oh, you know what? This is all court. Yeah, this is stage. Okay, cool. I'm down with the stage.
So
you know what I'm saying?
I was in Wynwood most of the night and then decided to make my way back to the house to watch the fight. And everyone in Wynwood, man, woman, I wouldn't say child because there weren't a lot of children
Rudy
around.
Mike?
They were just all watching the fights. I mean, everyone was glued to it.
Listen, Dan,
I don't know.
I think something needs to bring brought back. I don't know if you remember this as a kid. I think they need to bring fights like boxing matches or live events. Even I think they should move Thursday night football to Friday. I think they need to start having the big time sporting events or live sporting events on Friday night because the big boxing pay-per-view matches used to be on Friday night instead of Saturday. Then they moved it. But you saw the numbers that they put up yesterday, bro.
Broke the internet, man.
They put up some ridiculous numbers yesterday.
I'm not even going to play. I run in the hipster circles. I had a lot of people that were with me last night saying, man, I don't watch that. That is gruesome. Boxing is, I don't ever watch. By the end of the night, they were all watching it and all glued. And I insist they truly glued to the television.
And how crazy is this? Because not too long ago, people were saying, oh, there's not too much hype to this fight, right? And then all of a sudden, they put the 3-part documentary on Netflix. And then by this past Tuesday, that's all everybody was talking about. Oh my God, I can't wait for the fight Friday. I might have a fight party for a bunch of guys that people didn't know, except for Mike and Jake.
Is Jake Paul roided to all to get up?
Absolutely, man. Come on, bro.
How can you get that big?
He got Balco. He's got all of them. HGH. He's got all of them.
He got horse tranquilizers in the whatever. Anything that can make you bigger, better,
Barry Bonds' best friend. All that.
Now we have football Saturday. No Hurricanes. That's okay. Take a little break. Lick your wounds. Get ready for the next 2 games. You still control your own destiny. We got the Dolphins back on it after a Monday night game against the Rams. And it just keeps on going. So let's get to the headlines real quick. Get you caught up with everything. Jake Paul did defeat Mike Tyson after 8 rounds by unanimous decision. Katie Taylor won a controversial match against Amanda Serrano. A lot of boos last night, not just for the ladies, but also for the guys. I had Serrano winning that fight, but both women were going.
I did too. And then the Irish girl headbutted her like 2 times, man. Come on, man.
That was her game, man. And, I'm Irish American, but I still got to say, and, I live down here in South Florida. I still got to say the Puerto Rican Amanda Serrano won that fight.
And any woman that fights in J's, she was wearing Bread 11s. I'm supporting. I'm supporting.
What a legendary fight. By name, you got to name Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. That was some great stuff. Tyreek Hill revealed that he will probably need wrist surgery, but will not have it until after the season as he plans to continue to play. Jalen Ramsey has been cleared to play, while Teron Armstead remains questionable. The Dolphins face the Raiders tomorrow at 1. Is there any way the Raiders could pull out a win against the Dolphins tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely.
They beat the Ravens earlier this year.
Anybody could pull off a victory. It all depends if the Dolphins if they're really back. It's been 3 games with Tua. Can they get the offense going? And the defense played lights out Monday night. So it's just about stacking wins, bro.
We're talking about
stacking wins.
We're talking about it at Duffy's Implantation on Thursday night, Vlad. You're always invited. I was talking to Hank and I was talking to Clive and a couple other people. I said, if the defense plays like they did Monday, the rest of the season, the Dolphins have a chance to win every game. Not saying they're going to win every game. I'm just saying if the defense plays like that, they're going to be in every game. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, but they haven't.
They haven't.
It's been an inconsistency with the team. You notice that when the offense actually does put up points, the defense can't stop.
Now, remember the past 2 games before that, Zach Sealer was hurt with that eyeball thing. He came back, and all of a sudden the defense looked like it had been. So is Zach Sealer that big of a difference? I think he's a difference, but once again, don't think the Dolphins aren't going to give up another touchdown this season. I hear people now like, we got this. Like, whoa, this is the NFL.
But they probably think they're not going to give up another touchdown the next 2 weeks at home against the Raiders and Patriots. But
those two teams.
Listen, your record's 3-6, so you can't go around saying that you're going to beat every team that you're about to face, no matter what you think their level of talent is.
Hurricanes football team on a bye week, but some games of note today include Texas, Arkansas at noon, LSU versus Florida at 3:30, then Tennessee, Georgia at 7:30. You got some bets down for today, Vlad?
Yeah, man. I love the fact that Utah and Colorado's playing at 10 a.m. in the morning in Colorado.
I love Colorado for two reasons.
That's not fair, do you think? Come on, man. The kids got to wake up. They're playing at 10 a.m.
Yeah, no, that's why are they doing this in the West Coast? For me, it's awesome. I love watching it, but why? Nonetheless, I love Colorado for two reasons. Number one, I love them. I love the swag. I watched the whole entire game the other day where Shedeur Sanders was all over the place. Travis Hunter probably going to win the Heisman Trophy, but Deion Sanders' son picked up a fumble, scored.
But Shiloh did the dance.
And his homage to his father did the dance.
Yeah, he did the dance.
I mean, that was gifted to him because it looked like a forward pass. It was really a fumble. The other team just stopped, and he picked it up and ran it in. That's why you always never
play to the whistle.
Yep, you never stop. Even play after the whistle. You never know. But the other reason I love Colorado is because they're so polarizing. For some reason, people just hate them sometimes. You like them? Oh, ruining the game. You know, Vlad, there's always got to be a team in any sport that's ruining the game. And Colorado's ruining college football.
Yeah, because when the old guards, when they can't figure out the way what these new guys are doing, so they got to say they're ruining the game. They got to tarnish their reputation in order for them to still survive. That's all. It's cool, though.
Remember when Deion was kind of nasty with the media at the beginning of the year, and Paul Feinbaum and Heather Dinnish got their panties in a bunch and started saying, they're only going to win 3 games this year.
Paul Feinbaum went to Storage Wars, found a Michael Jackson locker, got the 1984 Thriller shoes that Michael wore in the video at the Apollo or whatever, that Motown 25.
Moonwalk.
And started dancing like Michael the way he's moonwalking his opinions earlier. Remember, you're right. You're absolutely right. He was ripping Deion in Colorado, the state of the program. And now oh my God, now he's changed his tune. Deion has a chance to get to the college football playoffs. Oh, he's the most shocked. This is the most surprising thing that's going on in college football. And that's all now. All of a sudden, you got to back. Yeah, you got to back talk. You got to back. You got to. You and I back up everything you say now, and you and I call it like we see it. When Feinbaum and Heather Dinnish started going in on Deion Sanders, all of them back working right now.
You know why? And we told you why. They're upset that he doesn't want to talk to the media. And they're the old guard that doesn't like the fact that a coach might not want to talk to the media, and that's not fair. So they went after him. Whether they're,
I know Paul is, and Paul's from the SEC. I didn't know if Heather did.
We played it on the show a couple times.
I didn't know that, but
predicting they were going to win 3 games, 4 games this year. Yeah, that did not age well. They're just hating. Whether their opinion, they don't care about their opinion being right or wrong. They just want to take shots at Deion. You think Deion cares about people taking shots at him? Please.
Oh.
Colorado's fun to watch, man. I ain't gonna lie.
And once the college football season's over, it's gonna be very interesting where he and Shedeur will be next.
Everybody's saying New Orleans.
It's either Vegas, New Orleans, Dallas.
Vegas.
I think it's Vegas.
That's awesome.
It's Vegas.
And I love the Raiders too. Now I know they're playing the Dolphins this week, but growing up with Bo Jackson, they were one of my teams. I would love to see Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders in Vegas at the Raiders. Whoo! Match made in heaven right there. The 2-0 Canes basketball team, they host Coppin State tomorrow at 2:00. You can hear it right here on 560 WQAM. The Heat, they did defeat the Pacers 124-111 in the NBA Cup action yesterday. Bam Adebayo had 30, while Kevin Love added 15 points in just 12 minutes in the third quarter. Miami and Indiana, they play not an NBA Cup game again tomorrow, 5:00. Heat, they've been exactly like they've been the past 2 years, up and down, up and down, up and down. Should we expect anything different this season? Just saying. I'm just saying.
That was a good comeback victory after a heartbreaking loss on Tuesday.
Detroit's not that bad though.
And you beat a team without Jimmy that went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and you don't really like. So that was a good victory.
Good victory. The Panthers, losers of 2 in a row to the New Jersey Devils. They look to get right tonight. Not going to be easy though. The 15-2 Winnipeg Jets at 7 o'clock.
Going to be a great game.
You know why?
I think why?
Paul Maurice.
What about Paul Maurice?
He coached the Winnipeg Jets.
Oh,
a little bit of the Paul Maurice Bowl.
The Paul Maurice Bowl. Okay, I didn't know about it.
And they all act like they don't care, and that's not true. You still got a little something in there. Although he's coached a lot of places.
I mean, definitely want to see the Panthers because obviously this is the third game of this is the last of a 5-game homestand, right? This is the last game.
Well, no, they did a home and away with New Jersey. They're doing a home and away.
No, they didn't do a home and away with New Jersey. This was that was a home and home. They lost 2 games at home to Jersey. The NHL does that sometimes.
Let's check that out. Devils. Okay, yeah. So then they're doing a home and away with the Jets.
Yes, the home and away with the Jets, which is very weird. You don't usually do a home and away with a team. You don't usually do a home and away with a team from the West Coast in the west part of Canada, or the mountain part of Canada,
Tampa.
Ooh,
you do it with Tampa.
Yeah, you do it with the Tampa. You might do it with New York, Carolina, or something like that. But you don't do it with a West Coast team. That's cool.
You have to cross international borders.
No, that means you got at least 2 to 3 days off. So their next game is not till Tuesday night, I believe.
Right, that's right.
So that's what it is. But 2 losses. But that happens during the season. But I think a game like tonight against Winnipeg, best team in hockey record-wise this year. Yeah, I think it'll be a game where you're going to see the Stanley Cup champs step up and show who's boss.
Show out. Real quick, the Marlins have hired Bill Hazel as the director of pitching. He was a pitching coach the past 2 seasons with the
Didn't they hire Pedro Guerrero as the hitting coach or something like that?
I think they did, yeah.
Okay.
No, a lot of people keep stating when they hired their new manager, it wasn't their initial want. The 2 other guys, they turned the job down, so... Vlad, you were next in line. They're Vladimir Lewis. Would you like to come coach the Marlins next year?
I might as well. I'm probably the only person in South Florida that goes to any Marlins game as a media member.
Oh, that's true. You went to a lot of games this year. You and I went to a good amount of games.
Right.
But you went actually as a media member.
I went as a media member for the Braves Radio Network, and then now we go there. Obviously, we got friends. I like the Marlins, man. I like the Marlins.
We've had great times.
It's fun. And the game is really. I love. You know what? Old guard Vlad, old school Vlad, has to admit the pitch clock's the greatest thing that's happened in baseball, man.
It's beautiful. I love it. Tough times for Lionel Messi following Inter Miami's shocking first-round exit in the MLS playoffs. We're going to get to Daniel Solana next hour.
Yeah, buddy, we got to talk.
He was dreading my text this morning. I guess you want to talk about Inter Miami. I said, yeah, buddy. Okay, so tough times for Lionel Messi. Well,
you saw what happened Thursday.
Yeah, so you lose Atlanta United in the first round. Then Thursday, Paraguay puts it on Argentina 2-1.
What's going on with Messi, man? He hasn't won the last 3 competitive games that he's played.
Tough, man. Yeah.
I am shocked that Inter Miami is no longer in the MLS playoffs.
Save it, man. It's starting to make my blood's starting to boil.
Not like people we need. Luckily,
they need to know how big of an upset that is.
It is. Whew. If it wasn't for the Canes being 9-0 and the Dolphins' terrible start, this would be the greatest player in the world. Didn't step up.
Greatest team of all time in MLS regular season. California prep star Hayden Lowe has flipped his commitment from USC to Miami. The 4-star edge rusher is part of the 2025 class. Speaking of class, let's take a step into the day spa. A waitress in Scotland admits to having a phobia of ketchup. Man.
A waitress has a phobia
of ketchup. How do you? Why are you a waitress?
I mean, I'm just saying. How do you even wait? You know what I mean? You're gonna see ketchup on every table. You're gonna have to get by. When you go to the back, you're gonna see a whole bunch of ketchup. What's gonna happen? You gonna freak out?
Do you put ketchup on anything, Vlad?
Fries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I eat them dry.
No, I can eat fries dry, but. All right, I'm gonna tell you something.
I don't like ketchup because
you really want to hear something. You really want to hear something?
I
I think most people order fries, right? Especially McDonald's fries, and automatically ask for ketchup. but never really utilize the ketchup. It's just there just in case.
Yeah.
You just want to have
A
it
change of pace.
just in case you really want to put it on the salt. Maybe it's a little too salty and you just want to put a little ketchup. But no, not for
Ketchup's a little overrated.
spaghetti. Maybe I might put ketchup on my spaghetti.
No.
Or Parmesan.
No.
Yeah, that's the only time. Parmesan and spaghetti. And ketchup on a hot dog.
I don't do that.
You don't put ketchup on a hot dog?
I really don't put ketchup on anything.
Nah, bro. You gotta put ketchup.
Even on a
couple of
hamburger or something, I like to just put mayonnaise or mayo.
things.
However
Oh
you say
my
it.
God, this is bad. This is the first time the Creole left you, and though just tangible.
I
Like,
can't believe that
I'm just kidding.
are eating fries with ketchup. I thought that was one of the things.
What do you mean? French fries, ketchup is natural.
I thought that
It's natural, bro.
Okay. I don't use ketchup for a lot of things.
Wow.
But I mean, I don't disgust. It's not disgusting.
What do you put on a hot dog?
Mayonnaise?
So you put mayo on a lot of things.
I
huh?
love mayo. Oh, I love mayo.
I hate mayo.
Okay, it's my favorite condiment. I put mayo on sandwiches, on burgers, on hot dogs. Sometimes I just eat mayonnaise sandwiches where it's just 2 pieces of bread
Oh,
and mayo
man.
in the middle.
Sure.
Is that disgusting?
Yeah.
305-567-0560.
Big time.
Also, what do you put ketchup on? Next, though, we got to talk about something, Vlad. You have a theory on Tua Tagovailoa. It may explain a few things that are going on with the Dolphins. It may explain a few things that are going on with Tua in his life. That is next here on 560 WQAM. Dolphins getting ready to take on the Raiders on Sunday. That's going to be a 1 o'clock kick. We've got pregame starting at 9 a.m. and then the postgame starting a little later. We've got some heat obligations. 8 o'clock. We're going to bring you as much as we can game day uncensored. We want to be uncensored about Tua death, taxes, and Tua fumbling the ball at least once seems to be a going thing here in South Florida. In fact, over the past 3 years, he leads the league in quarterback fumbles. And I know part of it is last year he's one of the few quarterbacks that played every single game, but nonetheless, lots of fumbles. Last year, 13 fumbles. Every game he seems to be fumbling. The other day, my cousin Vladimir Lewisson came up and said, I have an idea on why Tua might have the fumble bug. Vlad?
The concussions, bro.
Okay.
If you notice, every time he gets the concussion, the fingers do the gang signs and everything like that. That to me is, I think that's the reason why. I don't think he has 100% full, like firm, like when he gets the ball all the time. Like he had like he has grip, but I just think he doesn't have the full capacity strength in his hands like he used to, bro. Because it's just weird. It's just weird. You can almost guarantee he's gonna fumble a ball in game, and it's just simple things like some snaps, something like that. I just don't think. I'm not a doctor, so maybe I'm wrong, but my theory is that from the concussions and the way the fingers get, twisted up and everything like that, maybe he doesn't have the full 100%. Maybe he's like at 96% capacity of his his hand and his joints and his fingers, to the point that sometimes when the ball is hiked to him or when he has the ball in his hand, you can easily fumble the ball.
That is true. There seems to be, whenever he does get concussed, a direct correlation from his brain to his fingers. Once again, we're not doctors or even scientists for that matter, but
just my theory.
Yeah, just a theory, though, that maybe there is some type of coordination issue, because the way he's been fumbling all season long, he's been creative in the ways that he's fumbled. I know last game, Curse went by and he kind of fumbled it out like it was crazy. And whether he doesn't like to admit it or not, I thought the safety that they had that cost him the game the other day was that Indianapolis?
No, it was
Arizona. People are saying it wasn't his fault. He kind of threw Aaron Brewer under the bus, but it looked like, Vlad, you and I watched it and said, man, that looks like Tua mishandled that snap.
Yeah,
it hit him in the hands.
It wasn't the worst snap in the world, bro. Like, it was right in his hand. Like, you could grab it, but it's not the first time. This is a continuous thing. Like you just mentioned with the stat, he's fumbled the ball how many times?
I mean, he's fumbled it more than anyone in the league
over the last 3
years. Yes.
So that's the last in 3 years he's been with Mike McDaniel. So it's not the offense. I won't say it's the man's hands. I mean, he may not have the strongest hand. He have strong hands.
It does seem like he doesn't have strong hands. I'll give him credit for that. It just sometimes it seems very like
33 career fumbles is a lot in 5 seasons.
Yeah. And remember, he's been out a lot of seasons. Last season, he played every single game. He's one of the few quarterbacks that played. Fumbles are a part of the game. But at the same time, is there an explanation, or is he just, his hands are soft? I don't know. That would be one explanation that maybe needs to be sports scienced and see if the concussions and the connection between the fencing and everything is a reason for his hands maybe not controlling the ball like it should. But it seems like sometimes a strong breeze can knock the ball out of his hands. And we said it, he's not going to fumble against LA. Nope, fumbled again.
That and I think there's a couple of labels with the Dolphins, negative labels. One we'll talk about later, about what the Pittsburgh former Dolphin secondary player said about the Miami Dolphins calling them soft. We'll talk about that later. But another narrative I think that defensive coordinators are sharing when they're facing the Dolphins is that because of Tua's fumbling problems, just go, if you get him out of the pocket, just go after his hand.
Yeah.
Just hit his hand.
They're always swiping, but when they know you have a fumble issue, they're really going for the ball. But I mean, some of it hasn't, like you said, it hasn't been because their guys have been going for the ball. It's some of the stuff he's just dropped and it's been on his own. So maybe there is a neurological issue there that maybe he doesn't have 100% control, or maybe his grip isn't as strong as some of the other guys because of the connection between the fencing.
And maybe that's why some of the passes that he does throw sometimes are a little bit on the thrown. Like, whatchamacallit, I want to give Dolphin Dan just said, like, that would also affect his passes. There are some passes that are a bit underthrown, some passes that are a bit short, but for the most part, when he has time and he's on the pocket and he can release it very quickly, it's gonna get there. But We all know if he pats the ball more than one time, then there's a great chance something bad may happen. So you just want to know, just take a sack, and that's the least of the bad things that can happen, or throw the ball away. But it seems if you run out of the pocket, that's the other thing I don't like. I don't like the way he runs out of the pocket. Why are you going backwards? Don't run backwards, because now it's not like when you're running out of those quarterbacks have the ball loose and free when they're running already. So these defensive ends and tackles who are so athletic and long, they're just swiping. And if you don't have, most there's quarterbacks with unbelievable hand strength, and there's some quarterbacks you get injured. And then I'm not only talking about concussions, no matter what type of injury, like shoulders, arm, whatever, fingers, you may not be as strong as you were once before the injury.
Yeah, it's true. Any injured muscle or any injured whatever sometimes doesn't come back 100%. So we're going to keep a keen eye on Tua Tagovailoa's ball security for the rest of the season, but especially in this upcoming Las Vegas Raiders game. Maybe there is something there. Maybe that is why there's some of these passes. And last year he underthrew a lot of passes, and you thought maybe that's just because Tyreek Hill is so fast and Jalen Waddle is so fast. Maybe not. Got a little something
Because
to keep an eye on.
He's had 3 in the NFL so far, and then 1 in college.
You talking about concussions?
Yeah. Oh, it's
He's
just
4
injury.
in the NFL, 3 that have been diagnosed. College, he got the broken hip.
It was just the broken hip, right?
Yep.
Okay.
He did not have a concussion that we know of injuring.
Right. We don't know if they're okay. That is true. But I'm just saying maybe that's just
There's 4. And then there's been 4. Okay. There's been 3 documented. That one against the Bills where his hip hurt him. That was a concussion.
Remember? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, the one before the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, unstable. No, it's his hip. I was like, no. So we'll find out. Do you think he will fumble in this next game against the Raiders? If he does,
yes.
Then you got
yes.
You got to look into that. And there's
yes.
nothing wrong with if that is an issue. There's nothing wrong with if you do some sports science and find out that concussions have led to his hands.
And I'm not even
saying.
I'm just saying yes because of Max Crosby. Like if Max Crosby gets around, Kendall Lands,
Christian Wilkins too.
No, Wilkins is not playing. He's hurt.
He's already hurt.
He's on the IR. He could have came back this week, but it doesn't seem like he's coming back this week.
Dodged the
bullet. He has
there.
a Jones ankle injury.
Let's call it what it is. Dodged a bullet there.
It might. I mean, maybe.
I told you we're keeping receipts. Everybody, we should never let Christian Wilkins walk. Let's just see how he does before we say that. This year he's been somewhat
he's been banged up, but it's the Raiders.
But I mean, what's it worth it if he's banged up for the Miami Dolphins?
Well, you could have had him for cheaper 2 years ago. But
yeah,
nonetheless.
Well, that was the thing. That's okay. Let's just real quick end it on this. Chris Greer catching himself coming and going. Remember Christian Wilkins that year they could have signed and didn't? You need to show us on the field. You need to get sacks. Christian Wilkins starts getting sacks. We let him go. People start asking, what's the deal with Chop Robinson? We don't measure by sacks. We measure by pressure. Which one is it? He really said that the other day. He really said we don't measure our defense and success by sacks.
Yeah, everybody's always gonna be hypocrites when they're trying to protect their ass. You know what I'm saying? Like as if we don't remember what you said. Like let me tell you this: another Chris Greer. All of a sudden, he went to the 1984 Michael Jackson storage closet. Me and Mike used to laugh. We laugh at you guys, thinking that there's no problem with the offensive line. What happened? What's happened?
There's just no depth.
Okay. So now now what? No, you're mute now when people when saying that, right? And then now you're changing your thought process. I mean, fine. It's all good if you got to move on with the times. But if you were saying Christian Wilkins got to prove to you he's got to put up sack numbers, and then you drafted a rookie who's notorious of getting the pressure but never finishing the sack, but that's okay now.
Yeah, because that's not. He said now it's okay. Look, we don't measure it like that. Okay, that's fine. What I like, that's what we're going to do next, talking about some of the things that Vlad and I liked over the past 24, 48 hours in the sports world and around the world here on Sports Day 560 WQAM.
you know, and
Gino
just
wants
deal
to
with the
play.
pain. You know, it's gonna get worse.
Everything's
You
got
know,
that wrist
the more I
problem?
play. Yeah, I'm going, but I gotta get it out for my team, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
Gino?
I'm here, I'm locked
Gino?
in, no matter what, no matter how I
No
feel.
Cheetah playing?
You know, so even if I gotta cut my wrist off, I'm
got no
still out
cheetah.
there, man. You know what? Because I love the game of football, man. So, surgery was
crap.
brought up
I'm
and
sorry.
it was talked about whenever I talked to
Really
a
apologize
few
for
of the
that.
doctors, but you know what? It's my call at the end of the day, and my call is to stay out on the field.
If you cut your wrist, doesn't that defeat the purpose of being a receiver?
No, man. He looked okay out there.
No, I mean, there's just some things people say they gotta really stop. Take a moment and think about and before saying it. Yeah, I'll cut my wrist off to go play football.
You have to-
Yo, wide receiver, I think you need your wrist.
I mean, that's going to be a tough catch when it's coming in with a hand and a wrist. And,
You need your wrist. I don't know.
all right.
I don't
Well,
know.
now we got the OG. Seriously, we got maybe the OG of the OGs on this Dolphins team. His name is Calais Campbell. He has played 17 seasons in the NFL. He's maybe having one of his best seasons right here in the Dolphins. A lot of people thinking this is his last year. He's come home to Miami to retire. Calais Campbell says,
Yeah, I've always been in the mindset of leave everything on the field, burn rubber, you know, and just go as hard as I can go. And then when the offseason comes, you know, I'll figure out next year when that comes. You know, that's how it's been the last, last few years. So, next year doesn't even exist to me right now. You know, I'm playing this year as if it's my last, and I'm trying to do everything I can to empty the tank and to give the game my all. And if the offseason comes around and I feel good still, then we'll figure it out then.
my headphones are all messed up. I'm hearing half the things I'm not supposed to be hearing and hearing half the things I am supposed to be hearing. Calais Campbell said, look, I'm playing great. Might stick around for another year. Hey, if he plays like this, I say, yeah, come on back. We love you back on the team, man. He has been a monster. He's been one of our best players. He and Zach Sealer, gotta love what they're doing. Lionel Messi, on the other hand, Messi, let's be honest, he's coming. Well, we're going to talk Daniel Solana next hour, but let's be honest, he's going to make it to the World Cup. He's especially after that lackluster Inter Miami playoff appearance is angering. Messi's coming back. So is Suarez. We'll see what else happens. All right, basketball time.
And Neymar.
Neymar did buy a $23 million plot of land out in Sunny Isles, but there's other rumors, of course, Daniel Solano will be on, that he will go back to Santos in Brazil because they have been elevated to Serie A in Brazil, top level. So that's where he started. That's where he won championship. We'll see. Not to get too far ahead of it. Tyreek Hill, he says he'll cut his wrist off and play. He's not going on the injured reserve. Calais Campbell, he could be 100 years old and still play. Jimmy Butler, not always playing so much, trying to rehab that ankle. Eric Spoelstra was asked about Jimmy Butler and how he's kind of coming along. Here's the question and the answer.
As for Jimmy, he's doing some work to get ready. Any update on his time?
I don't have an update, but he's definitely putting in the time. You know, that work has been good for him.
Okay. Tyler Hero's playing great. So Jimmy, whatever, we don't know. But Tyler Hero has been killing it. Tyler Hero even admits he is feeling it.
I mean, it's fun. I'm in the zone. It feels like my summer workouts, just everything going in. But it's just a feel for the game. I could have, shot that many threes or whatever it was early on throughout the game. But I feel like just being able to work the game, letting the game come to me is easier, and it makes more sense for the team. Try to get my teammates going, try to get everyone feeling good. And if the game calls for me to be more aggressive at the end, then I will. But I think it's more important to just get everyone involved early on and let the game kind of flow how it flows.
I can't lie, Vlad. Tyler Hero has been in the zone. It has been fun to watch.
Dude, that Detroit game on Tuesday night was so much fun to watch. Like watching him get in that zone, feeling like every time he shot the ball it was going in, and it did go in. Yeah, he's played lights out so far to start the season, the first 11, 12 games. It was something that we talked about on the Toby and Leroy show. Like, why does it? I think he has a running partner with Terry Rozier, even though Terry's been struggling. But he has a guy that just goes up and down. Like, they complement each other very well, better than maybe the other point guards that the Heat have had to run alongside him. And also his whole mentals is good, man. He's not worrying about being traded. Everything must. I'm not knowing anything, but maybe the home life is good. The family's set. You know what I mean? I think he's having another. There was a rumor that he might be having another job. But whatever. Everything's good right now with him. Everything seems very calm, and you could see it in his play, how mature he is, his whole swag, how much he's vocal on the team. If you see on the sidelines during timeouts, like how much vocal he is on like defensive assignments or something I would have never thought that Tyler would be. But yeah, man, Tyler's becoming a leader. I think he's very comfortable with his role where he is in the league, and he's displaying it.
Well, the up-tempo offense does fit him to a T, and he has really blossomed this year. He's also stayed healthy so far, so that helps. But Tyler says, even though he's putting up big numbers and leading this team, it's not about the numbers, it's about the W's.
At this point, it's just about wins. It's not really about, individual accolades or how one person is playing. We just want to win, and I'm trying to do as much as I can to help the team win, as everyone is. And, right now the results aren't always us winning, but I feel like we're doing the right things and everything's moving in that direction. The energy's good. Everybody's working. We're all in cohesive together, and we'll win as a team and we lose as a team. So that's pretty much where it's at.
Okay, Tyler, you're balling. We'll let you go on
I
that.
know. Maybe that's the word the kids are saying.
Cohetes?
Cohetes, maybe.
You're cohetes?
In cohetes, I guess.
Obvious other cahoots?
In cahoots.
I think cohesion.
I think it's a combination of cahoots and cohesion, which, by the way,
No.
I'm happy this word came out because this hit me while I was in the bathroom this morning. Isn't consistent and constant the same thing?
Similar.
Right.
Similar words. I mean, yeah, they pretty much mean the same thing. Consistent and constant mean the same thing, just different words. But closer.
Same 4 letters. You got two T's in it.
Okay.
CONS. Yeah, the same. It's the same word. Why we got 2 words? It's the same thing. Makes no sense. Same thing with what he just said. What was it?
Heats.
Cohetes. How you even spell that? Is it Coheets?
Yeah, that's it.
That's cohetes.
Look, it was fun watching Tyler against Detroit ball out, and he was a little upset with Spo because Spo called the phantom timeout that ended up costing him the game. Did you hear him after the game?
Which one?
Tyler Hero.
Which game?
After the Detroit game.
Oh yeah, he was. That's the one where he said he was in the zone.
I couldn't tell. Tyler Hero. No, that was from practice.
Oh.
But I couldn't tell when I was listening to Tommy Tighe and Alejandro Solana. I thought that the wrong audio was being played because after that game, Tyler Hero dropped the accent and was just sitting there like, "We ride or die with Spo."
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
And did you hear this? He said supposedly he's one of the best coaches in the game. I was like, oh,
he said
a
supposedly.
little sour on that one. Yeah, he said supposedly. He goes, first of all, ride or die with Spo. Supposedly he's one of the best coaches in the game. I think he's just a little hurt right there. You ball out. And you end up losing the game.
Yo, that's messed up. Hold on,
it's true.
That's a little messed up.
That's true.
You can't be saying that. Yo, I thought supposedly.
You know what Spo do?
But you got to. You know what? Hold on. You know what?
upset.
I'm gonna side with Tyler on this, bro. I just put on a performance of a lifetime. I could have gone for 50 if you don't call a timeout. It would have been a second overtime.
They were up though.
No, they weren't.
I thought they were up by 1.
No, he doesn't call the overtime. I mean, if he doesn't call the timeout, it was a tied game. The timeout is what gave the Pistons the lead because they didn't have any timeouts, so it became a technical, and they get the ball back.
Bo got him, so he's just a little upset. That was all. They're all good. It's all good. We beat the Pacers. We'll beat the Pacers again tomorrow night. We'll be fine. Be all good. Next hour, we're gonna have Daniel Solana join the show, but next we're gonna get you caught up to date with all the headlines here on 560 WQAM.
National championship winner Miami Hurricanes, Miami Hurricanes basketball, and Supporter Shield winners Inter Miami.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Just in case you were wondering, last night's Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight, nice penny for both fighters. Jake Paul in the area of $40 million for the fight.
Nice.
Tyson in the realm of $20 million.
That's a good payday for a 61-year-old, man.
Yeah,
But I do have one criticism about the fight.
I mean, besides some of the obvious ones.
Well, I mean, this is not even about the actual fight.
Oh, okay. Rosie Perez.
Rosie was tough.
She looked good though.
Rosie looked good always, but she was tough. But I thought she was all right in certain points. But
I would like to have more of the accent come out. She sounded very.
Why you want to hug? Say, "Hey, Mookie, come on, man, this ain't do the right
Give
thing."
me some water, Billy.
Oh, Jeopardy, Billy. I never want to see an interview where I see Mike Tyson in his jockstrap ass just cheeks out.
Yeah,
I don't want to see cheeks out Mike Tyson. That scared the crap. Dude, I'm on the phone with my boy, right? And I'm like, yeah, the fight's about to begin. And then he goes, and I go, what the, my eyes. And he's like, what happened? I'm like, yo, they just interviewed Mike. Mike just kissed the man in his cheek. Didn't know it was his son at the time. So this is before I found out that was his son Amir, who was interviewing Mike during the before the fight. But he just kissed the man on the cheeks and then walked away, and then he's just assed out.
I thought it was like staged or funny or silly.
Dude, I don't want to see a 61-year-old's ass, a 61-year-old man's ass. No, that's not what I don't think the public viewers want to see, a 61-year-old Mike Tyson's ass just walking.
I thought it was staged, but it was funny. And then it was just offsetting at first. And I was like, what?
Jeez.
That was
the biggest flaw of the fight.
Entertainment at its best.
But it was entertaining.
Like I said, had a great time.
In some way, shape, or form.
It was great. Like I said, I had a great time at Velvet Taco in Wynwood. I had those vegan tacos, I had beer. Oh, it's always so good, man. I'll take you out there one day. I'll have a good time. Wynwood. Let's get to some headlines before
I'm gonna be there for is it
Art Basel?
Turk Basel.
Well, what's Turk Basel?
It's a weed version of Art Basel.
Oh, okay. Sounds cool.
Yeah, a couple of my friends are doing stuff in Wynwood. We're gonna go.
Velvet Taco. Let's do it. There's a couple places. Gramps. Gramps has an outdoor patio area too. So if you need to take deep breaths, you can go out there and do that as you walk around.
Okay. Herbal Essence.
Let's get to the headlines. First of all, I want to tell you this. Whiskey Stars and Cigars is almost here, presented by WQAM and Edmar's Sawgrass Auto Mall. Talk sports with WQAM staff Wednesday, November 20th. That's this Wednesday at our new location, Tabacon.
You may get a chance to see your boy out there.
They got the spirits at Plantation Walk. Enjoy a sample of Aberfeldy 12-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey and a cigar from Drew Estate. That's Wednesday, November 20th. That is this coming Wednesday at Tabacon. Cigars and spirits at Plantation Walk, presented by Edmore Sawgrass Auto Mall. Your 2023 Dealer of the Year, sponsored by the main man. There's nobody better to help you flip your biz and cash out big than the main man. And by injury law firm Cohen and Judah, where a partner handles every single case. Call 866-FAIR-FEE. So glad you can make it out there.
Yeah, man. I'll go out there.
Hawk and Crowd are going to be out there broadcasting live. And then, cigars, single malt, Scotch, sports. Nice place too, man. It's going to be good.
Glad. That's it. That's all you need in life. All you need in this life of sin.
Yep, that's it. As Machiavelli would tell us. Jake Paul got a big, I wouldn't say a big win, but
that's a big win. When you're walking away with $40 million, that's a big win.
Big win. Yeah, he defeated Mike Tyson after 8 rounds by unanimous decision. Katie Taylor won a controversial match against Amanda Serrano. Very interesting girl fight. They were throwing hands, man, and they went the distance. 10 rounds, 2-minute rounds. Whew. Mike Tyson, Early on, he was good. The legs kind of gave out towards the
Second round.
I was going to give him a little more credit.
20 seconds.
I was going to say midway through, but
No, it was 20 seconds into the second round. It was Rap City.
I'll say that third round. You could
No. Third round was over.
He was hustling
It
for
was
air,
over.
man.
It was over after the third round. Thank God they shortened the rounds. It was 2 minutes. Because
Yeah,
if it was
3-minute
3-minute
rounds
rounds, he would have
killed
been
him.
done by the third round. And why was he biting his gloves?
He said he has a bite fetish, as you know.
That's what Mauro Ronaldo was saying. But
no, Mike Tyson
yeah.
in interview afterwards, he goes, he goes, I have a bite fetish, as you know. He likes to bite things. Imagine, must be an interesting around date night.
Woo!
I'm just saying, if that's what you like, I mean, that's what you're gonna do. Tyreek Hill, we heard about him. He might cut off his hand if he has to, but he's still gonna play. He has a need for wrist surgery. Please don't cut your hand off.
What guy has a biting fetish? Now this guy would cut off his wrist,
So
even
he
though
can
he's
play.
a wide receiver and needs his wrist to catch, which makes absolutely no sense.
It's hard enough to catch with 2 hands, much less 1.5 or whatever you're gonna have. He's gonna play. Jalen Ramsey cleared to play. Teron Armstead, who knows? Yeah, that's every week. You never know with Teron Armstead. He's been great though this year. The Dolphins
That's the
face
problem,
the Raiders tomorrow at 1.
He is always good when he's there on the field. He's like always top 3, top 5 at his position. But
Adam Beasley said he's rated top 3 at his position.
right, but like I always say, death taxes, and he's gonna miss a minimum 4 games this season. A season.
That's not good news. Hopefully he will be playing tomorrow against the Raiders. We'll see. The Hurricanes football team, they're on a bye week, but some games of note today include Texas, Arkansas. That's going on right now. We have Colorado and Utah playing, with Colorado up 14-3 in the second quarter.
We love the Fighting Primes.
Of course. LSU and Florida play today at 3:30, and then you get Tennessee, Georgia at 7:30 tonight. That should be a big-time matchup. Canes basketball team, they're 2-0 in the season. They hope Coppin State tomorrow at 2 o'clock right here. Oh, you can hear it on probably our sister station, 790.
They're gonna hear it on 790.
Libre. The Heat defeated the Pacers 124-111 in the NBA Cup yesterday. Bam Adebayo had 30, while Kevin Love, gotta love it, 15 points in just 12 minutes in that third quarter. Won the third quarter for him. Miami and Indiana, they play again tomorrow at 5. It is not going to be an NBA Cup game. Vlad, you still sour on the NBA Cup, or are you starting to kind of come around on it?
Still sour on it.
I liked it last year,
but
I like it this year.
I do, but it's kind of weird. You do really see these guys actually go after it and play harder, even if they're getting blown out. They want to limit the loss, the point differential, because I saw that with the Minnesota Portland game. I don't know if I like the fact that they kind of make these teams kind of play back to back after playing one game, an NBA Cup game.
Yeah,
you understand? Like, why do the Heat got to stay in Indiana another day, 2 days to play another game? Like, why can't they just fly out?
No, it's just not as much travel. They've been trying to reduce travel since COVID.
I mean, they're doing that with the Knicks and the Nets, and I'm like, that's the most ridiculous thing ever. The Knicks and Nets are playing also on tomorrow afternoon because they just played an NBA Cup game last night. And I'm like, bro, they live in the same city. They play in the same city.
Yeah, it's not like they're, save some travel time for
that would be like the Lakers and Clippers having them do a back-to-back.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, at least if you're going to do a home and away, I'm down. I can understand that. But to do a back-to-back in the same arena when, come on.
Yeah, the same city. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Panthers losers of 2 in a row to the New Jersey Devils. They look to get right against the league's best 15-2 Winnipeg Jets at 7 o'clock. That should be a fun one here on 560.
Yeah, both teams coming off losses.
And the Jets have just been a great, when I say a great surprise, I mean, I don't care, but they've been a surprise this season with a 15-2 record, man. And Panthers get the best game from everybody, man. Those New Jersey Devils are pretty darn good too. We saw them put a whooping on us twice.
Yeah, but they got their ass kicked in the both fights.
Oh, well.
There was more action in the hockey fights than there was in the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight.
Well, yeah. Didn't do anybody dying last night.
No, man, you can't mess up the money.
The Marlins have hired Bill Hazel as the director of pitching. He was the pitching coach the past 2 seasons for the Angels. Lionel Messi, life's always good if you're Messi, but
big failure.
Oh, we're gonna have Daniel Solano on next. It kind of put it into perspective how huge of a failure and upset was that Atlanta United in a 3-game series, by the way, not just got lucky for 1 game. 3-game series, eliminating Inter Miami from MLS playoff contention. We said this earlier in the year. Daniel Solana said that Atlanta United could be one of the teams Inter Miami could face in the first round. And I said, that's the only team that's given us fits this year. Can we please not play them? Who do we get? And what happens? And you can't say, well, that the stage is too big for guys like Messi and Busquets and Suarez. Those guys have played on the biggest stages ever. So
maybe the stage was too little for them.
Oh, man. Put it on by Atlanta United. Ugh. And, last year's champion.
That goalie was out of his mind. Guzan?
Yeah, man.
He was out there in his mind playing against them, man. Like, he stopped everything. He was a wall.
He started yelling. He was talking noise.
Oh, he was talking hella trash. Yo, fam, if you're doing unbelievable saves against the greatest player of all time, I'm talking trash too. I just better hope he don't bite me in the ass and then he gets an unbelievable goal against me. But, dude, those 3 games they played, he was making unbelievable stops. So
and the one they won wasn't very convincing either, the first one. So
no, it wasn't. You're right.
2-1 late goal.
You think they? All right. We'll
we got the expert coming on next. Speaking of experts, let's go ahead and take a step into the day spa. 43 monkeys escaped a medical lab in South Carolina. 23 have been recovered.
So there's 20 still out there.
So there's still 20 monkeys roaming the streets. And it's the weekend, so know what that means. Monkeys can do some crazy things, man. Monkeys can do some crazy things. I wonder why they were in a medical lab. South Carolina?
Planet of the Apes?
I was gonna say medicinal monkeys, but I don't know. I don't know what the laws are like in South Carolina. I just
cocaine monkeys.
I know. Oh, you got to be careful with monkeys, man.
We saw. Didn't they train? What was it? The Hangover? Yeah.
Look, monkeys are extremely intelligent and extremely coordinated. So you got to be careful. Like, they know how to smoke cigarettes and do other things. So you can train a monkey. Like Arondé Gatson
beat up James Franco. Yeah.
Arondé Gatson, who used to play for the Dolphins, said he had bought a monkey at one point, and he had trained the monkey to go get him beers out of the fridge, like when he was sitting on the couch. That's not bad. Babu.
I think
I don't want a monkey. I gotta know.
What, a dog or a monkey? Which one would be really like the cool one to hang out with?
Oh, it's got to be dogs are very faithful, but a monkey, man.
Because a dog can get you a beer out of a fridge.
Right, but it's got slobber and everything on it. Monkeys use their hands.
The monkey will actually drink the beer with you.
It will. You get a monkey drunk.
It might have to be the monkey, bro. I'm not putting no diaper on a monkey.
Oh, yeah, you're going to put a diaper on.
No, I'm putting shorts. I'm not putting no diaper.
You can potty train it.
I don't want to baby a monkey. Come on.
Potty train the monkey, then teach it how to drink and smoke.
Oh, he's definitely smoking with me.
Theoretically.
Oh, yeah. Monkey OG, the whole nine. We're doing
the monkey sitting on the stoop, drinking, smoking, yelling at people as they walk by, hollering. My type of monkey. We got our guy Daniel Solana joining us next to talk Inter Miami. I used to be so excited to talk Inter Miami, but now I'm just gonna grin and bear it and get frustrated. Not because of Daniel Solana, but because
I canceled my Apple subscription immediately.
Good job by you. That's next here on Sports Day 560 WQAM.
you might have missed.
A player down in cramps. The ball chipped in. Far post just over Saba. And again, you don't need to bring play to a stall. Ball headed in, and Atlanta with Sleece has scored. Miami was down a player due to cramps. Atlanta kept playing, and a beautiful ball to the back post at the pole buries. Only his second goal of the season, and Atlanta's back in front, and only a quarter hour remains. It's over everyone's head. Campana tracking it down, but the whistle blows to bring this one to a close, and Atlanta rewrites the script. There's no Hollywood ending for Inter Miami. The Shield will be unaccompanied in the trophy case this year as Atlanta becomes united to knock off Inter Miami 3-2.
I love Phil Shane on the play-by-play for Inter Miami on 560 WQAM, but I disagree with him saying there will be no Hollywood ending. That is a Hollywood ending for Inter Miami, the underdog coming into your house with legends in the game and ending what would have been a historic run for our soccer team. I am extremely depressed and extremely upset, and I don't even know how I feel right now about Inter Miami. That's why we bring in our dude, Daniel Solana, the expert that is soccer on this show. Daniel Solana, just tell me right now what happened.
I mean, a whole lot of different things happened, Dan and Vlad, a whole lot of different things. The first, and it has nothing to do with the game. The first has to do with the fact that the MLS has these playoffs that reward teams that are absolutely weak and allow them to go into this postseason tournament. And, you know, look, I understand it keeps, you know, the fans of these teams that don't do well during the season kind of, you know, watching the game, and it keeps them, you know, paying money to go watch their teams. But I mean, let's be honest, guys. Let's say Atlanta United pulls off this historic run as the underdog, lifts up the trophy. I mean, they're the 18th place team in the overall table, and they're going to be your MLS Cup champion. I mean, that just goes to show you that this is this tournament, this MLS Cup tournament is an absolute joke. And MLS needs to, you know, look at the rest of the world and start adapting to how everybody else does it. Because, I mean, what does that go to show you that, you know, the 18th place team is now going to the semifinals in a tournament? It's a joke.
Wow. You sound like Vlad with the playing, with the NBA and the playing. If, you know,
I mean,
I mean, it doesn't sound likely. It doesn't seem likely. It can happen, like the 10th seed of a play and making it all the way to the finals and winning it. We almost saw it with the Heat, but they won the 8th seed. But they were already the 8th seed. They already had the 8th best record in the conference. Now with the MLS Cup, I just don't like this best out of 3. Like, that makes no sense to me.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if you
in the first round,
but if you're looking at specifically the Inter Miami versus Atlanta series, I mean, game 1 finished 2-1 in favor of Inter Miami. Game 2 finished 2-1 in favor of Atlanta United. They would have gone straight to PKs or done some sort of overtime, and I would have rather that than have to go back and play a third game. I mean, I just think that having a 3-game first round is a joke. I know a lot of people enjoyed it because there were some blowouts, like in the LAFC Vancouver matchup. LAFC won the first game, but Vancouver won the second game 5-0. So had you had played 2 games, Vancouver would have gone through because of the goal differential and having more goals within the series. So I'm with you, Vlad. I think if they're going to have this tournament, they need to go into a home and home, you know, make it a little bit different. But again, I am completely against the playoffs. And look, Inter Miami, at the end of the day, they just folded, man. The guy who gets paid the most money in the league to show up only had 1 goal and 1 assist during the entire playoff series. You know, Suarez only had 1 goal. He did not play his best. I'm the first one, you know, I support him 100%, but I'm the first one to come out and say he didn't show up. He didn't show up in any of the games, maybe just the first game. So look, it was a combination of that. And also, let's not forget our 2 best midfielders in Sergio Busquets and Yannick Bright. And I'm going to hit you with a stat, Dan, in about 20 seconds. But Busquets was out both the away game at Atlanta and almost the whole game, the third game at home. Bright was out the entire second half and the entire third game. Now, let me give you this stat, guys, and then you can let me know. Inter Miami gave up 1 goal versus Atlanta while Yannick Bright was in the game during the postseason. They gave up 5 goals when Yannick Bright was not in the game against Atlanta. So that goes to show you that there's certain players that Inter Miami was missing that would have made a difference. Now, they still have the team to be able to beat this team in the 3-game series. But unfortunately, Atlanta United was Inter Miami's kryptonite this year. They were only able to beat them that one time in the playoffs, and then they lost 3 games to them this year and tied 1. So, unfortunately, it just wasn't their year. At least they were able to win the Supporters Cup Shield, and and they're going to the Club World Cup. But definitely not the storybook ending we all hope for, right?
I got to give their goalie a tremendous amount of respect. He was phenomenal. I know we were saying that Messi and Suarez didn't play their normal top shelf games, but they had opportunities, but they were being denied. Like that goalie was sitting on top of his head, because if the goals go in, we're not saying that these guys didn't deliver. We're saying that they're doing what they're doing. No, they had chances to deliver. They were being denied with some unbelievable saves by Guzan. I got to give him credit.
I mean,
but
I'm curious. You guys think he was on some compound V or
I
was
don't
that normal?
know, bro. That was 3. It's 3 games. Like that first game could have been a blowout. And then it was like, when you think about it, it's like, Inter Miami didn't play well. Yeah, they were good enough to eke out a 2-1 victory. And I'm like, they didn't play well, but that goalie was playing out of his ass. Like, and then in Atlanta, he had to play out of his ass. Remember, they scored that second goal to win late. Inter was putting a tremendous amount of pressure on Guzan, and he was just denying them. So game 3 last Saturday, you figured the home crowd, Chase Stadium, you got Messi, you got Suarez, you got Busquets, you got Collin. You're going to get these guys. And he continued playing good. To me, it was the equivalent of seeing an unbelievable, like seeing Sergei Bobrovsky going crazy with the Panthers. Like when that hockey goal, when you're in the playoff and that hockey team that has this tremendous goalie that all the great scoring forwards or centers in hockey are trying to score on him and he's denying them. You start thinking that these guys aren't playing well. It's not that they're not playing well. This guy's just playing better than everybody else right now. And that's what Guzan was doing the last 3 games.
You nailed it, man. You nailed it. So he's the only goalie that I believe in the history in the MLS playoffs who has recorded more than 8 saves in more than 1 game in a series. I mean, he was literally, for those of you that watch The Boys, he was on some compound V. I have zero doubt. He was definitely, putting it into him. There's no doubt. I mean, he just played the best series I've ever seen a goalie play in MLS playoffs in the history. It was unbelievable.
Try to put this in perspective for those that maybe don't follow soccer that closely. How big of an upset is this? Let's look at maybe another sport to kind of compare. Like Inter Miami breaks the record for best regular season ever. You've got the greatest player of all time, possibly, in Lionel Messi, some of the other Suarez. You've got the coaching. You've done everything. This is MLS. How big of an upset is this? Maybe in terms of another sport, like maybe give us another team or something that if they would falter would be kind of similar to what Inter Miami unfortunately did.
Yeah, the clearest one that I can think of right off the top of my head, and something that just happened, maybe a handful of years ago, was the Golden State Warriors breaking the record and basically going 73-9, right? They go 73-9, they break the Chicago Bulls record. Let's say the Golden State Warriors would have lost in the first round against the 8 seed that year. That would be, kind of what it is. But here's the difference, Dan Day and Vlad. Here's the difference, guys. In soccer, anybody can win any game. Right. Anything can happen. In basketball, where it's 5 against 5, it's very, very rare for the underdog team to be able to win 4 games in a series against the favorite. It's just very, very tough because it's less players and stuff. In soccer, I mean, anything can happen on any given day. That's why it's the most beautiful sport in the world. And that's why these things can happen. So I understand, again, going back to the playoffs, why it's so great. Because look, at the end of the story, at the end of the day, it's a great story for Atlanta, right? I mean, they beat arguably the greatest team ever to be assembled in MLS history, and they knocked them out. And they played them well all 3 games, and they could have won all 3 games. That's the worst part. I mean, that's how well Brad Guzan played, and the rest of the team responded.
So terrible for soccer and for MLS. And
that's what that was the question I was about to ask, Dan. So thanks for the setup. Thanks for the pass.
I'm your Sergio Busquets.
Ah, there you go, man. I'll put in a goal like Messi should have. How disappointed is Apple and the MLS right now not having this team, not having this team in the playoff, having this team eliminated in the first round? Or are they starting to rethink the regulations and the amount of teams that they have in the playoffs, or the amount of games that they need to do in the first round? Because obviously there was a lot of, like we said earlier, there was a lot of back and forth on if it was a positive or negative, but you got to look at it as a negative when your number one team, number one player is no longer in the playoffs anymore.
And not even just the number one team. I mean, you also have to look at Columbus Crew. Columbus Crew was knocked out by by the Red Bulls. Columbus Crew was the second best team in the season. Arguably, that should have been the finals, Inter Miami and Columbus, and that's what we were looking forward to in the conference finals, right? The other team that got knocked out, Cincinnati, was also one of the top teams, and they got knocked out by NYCFC. A little bit better, obviously, than an Atlanta United or than the New York Red Bulls, but you have all these underdogs winning. Now, getting back to your question, the day that Inter Miami was playing Game 3, I don't know if you guys caught it, but Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, tweeted out, big game today, or something about Messi's playing today. So that goes to show you that Apple is looking at these types of things. Now, in terms of are they looking at it in the playoffs? Do they want to switch the format? Honestly, I don't know. What's going to happen. I think they're going to have to see, what ends up happening during the playoffs. Let it play out, see what the viewership is like. But there's absolutely no doubt that having Inter Miami out, having Columbus out, I mean, the good teams are out. And obviously, I think the viewership is going to go down, especially with Inter Miami out, because everybody tunes in to watch Messi, whether it's just in Miami, in the United States, or around the world. So are they going to lose those viewers for the rest of the playoffs?
So Dan was just saying that two small market teams like Columbus and Cincinnati being knocked out will affect ratings, while big markets like New York and LA have teams still in the playoffs. So it would have been better for MLS to have a conference final of Inter Miami versus was it Columbus?
Correct.
Than it would be for Inter Miami to go against the Red Bulls.
100%. 100%. Just because the actual game would have just been more attractive. I mean, obviously, Inter Miami has played Columbus Crew a couple times this season. Every time they've played, it's been a fantastic game. And they're arguably the two best teams in the league. So, I mean, on the podcast that I've been on over the last week, I've been very vocal. I've said that they need to change the format of the playoffs, maybe take the top two in each conference, play a semifinals, and then play a finals. Or maybe just take the top team in each conference and just meet in the finals. Obviously, MLS isn't going to do that because they love the playoffs. They love the money that comes from it. And they love exploiting all of that. And I get it. Now, getting back into Apple and what they're doing in order to get teams to spend money, I absolutely 100% think that Apple is pressuring MLS to change some of the roster rules, because with the Club World Cup coming up, Inter Miami, and we're going to get into that, Inter Miami is looking at some players, some really interesting players, but can they bring them in with the way that the current roster regulations are set? I don't think so. I don't think that the MLS can make a splash in the Club World Cup with these teams the way that they're currently constructed. So I do think that Apple is going to put a lot of pressure on the MLS in this offseason to go ahead and make some changes, allow some of these owners who want to spend, and let them bring in some players.
From the Battered Heron podcast, Daniel Solana. Let's talk about the future now. Inter Miami, what's in the past is in the past. We can't change that. Does this now mean, and we're going to get to some maybe the new additions, but the old additions, the current team, more likely now that Messi's going to stick around another year? We know Suarez is looking at signing a contract or has already signed a contract, that maybe these guys don't want to go out like that. So we might still see a lot of the same star power on the team going forward.
100%. Yeah. Messi is definitely, has a deal signed through 2025. He'll become a free agent in 2026. Although I do think that if he continues to play at the level he's playing, he'll probably sign for one more year, since the World Cup 2026 is going to be in the United States. So I would see Messi opening the new stadium on opening day. Now, Who's going to be his partner that day? And when is he coming? The biggest news has been Neymar.
Of course. Why? Why was Neymar name thrown out there?
Some land? Something about land?
Yeah, I mean, so he purchased a plot of land. I think it was $26 million, a plot of land out in Bal Harbor. There is a house that is going to go on there, 13,200 square feet, that is already designed and ready to be developed to go on that plot of land. So I know Neymar spends a lot of time in Miami. He loves going to the Heat games. He loves spending time on South Beach. But I don't think somebody's spending that kind of money for a vacation home. Although, I mean, he's loaded and stuff. But look, I think Neymar is the big name that's coming next.
And he's out of contract next year around mid-year.
That's correct. He's done with his contract at the end of the season. But there is a lot of talk that they're trying to get him in now, like you said, Dan. In the winter. So there has been talks between Neymar and Al Hilal to get his contract. He basically wants to get released from his contract, and he wants to come. And I think that's great marketing for the MLS. I mean, to reunite the MSN, Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, one of the greatest trios to share the pitch at Barcelona, having them in the MLS, where obviously the league is a little bit weaker than Europe. I mean, I think that's going to be unbelievable marketing, and it's going to be great for the team as well.
Cause for concern, Santos being elevated in Brazil to Serie A.
No cause for concern.
There's talk that Neymar wants to go back to the team that as a teenager he won a championship with.
Yeah, he does, but I think he wants to play with his buddies a little bit longer. The other name who's been extremely out there, and he just got released from his contract with Juventus, hasn't played in a long time. He won't be available to play until March 2025, but he is able to practice with his new team if he signs, and that's Paul Pogba. The French international who was on Juventus has also played for United. I know you're a fan, Dan. He hasn't played in such a long time. I would personally, I'd be against it. But at this point, I mean, any addition, any big name, if he can offer some value to the team, I'm all for it. You got excited, Dan. You got excited. I said Paul Pogba, you got excited.
Pogba, Griezmann. I would love to see Antoine Griezmann in the pink and black. That would be a very exciting time for me. But I really do think Messi is got every plan to continue to play up into the World Cup, and then he'll retire after the World Cup.
Absolutely. I don't doubt it. And obviously with Inter Miami opening Miami Freedom Park in 2026, right there at the old Mel Reese location, what better way than to open it than having Messi on the pitch on opening day? So that's why I think there's no doubt that Messi will be here on opening day 2026, and he'll be leading the team out of the tunnel. And, we'll see what we can do next year. But before we get into 2026, it'll be all about next year. We got a big year, Club World Cup. A bunch of trophies. They're playing CONCACAF champions again. They're playing MLS Cup. There's news that they might be playing US Open Cup. There's a lot of news that Apple might be buying the rights to US Open Cup, giving way for all the MLS teams to participate again. So a lot to play for in Inter Miami in 2025. And the fact that they won't be going away for a very long preseason tournament also plays into their favor. Yeah. They'll be, doing their preseason at home in Miami. They've already got a couple games planned out. So 2025 is going to look to be a great year.
Preseason, we talked about Inter Miami just win everything, and they won 0 trophies this year. Put a bow on that. Daniel Solana, if you're watching us right now on YouTube or Twitch, you see you have a little Uruguay love. You got the kit on. I'll let you do a little victory lap. No. You got a little victory lap. Give us a victory lap right now.
I mean, it was definitely something that I've been waiting for a while. Obviously, you guys know I was at the semifinal game, Colombia, Uruguay. It wasn't the greatest experience. Yesterday, we got a little bit of our revenge. It was a great game. Colombia scored that first goal in the first half. Uruguay tied it, was able to pull ahead. Colombia scored in injury time in the second half. And in the 101st minute, on the very first play after Colombia scored, Uruguay was able to put that third goal in. And I yelled that goal so hard that my son started crying, and he got so mad at me. He's like, you can't yell so much. And I was like, I'm sorry, man. That's how I feel it. But it was so great to let that one out. I'm pretty sure my entire neighborhood heard me.
Speaking of father-son, did you get a little freaked out last night when Mike Tyson kissed his son, then showed his bare ass to the whole world?
I mean, I wasn't surprised about him showing his bare ass. He's known for doing that type of stuff. Kissing your son is a little bit weird. I will say you that. But
it was kissing his son, and then it was just like, okay, first of all, I'm upset with the cameraman. You got to know the man is his cheek,
waist up.
It's like he's showing cheek, so you got to understand. Like once he's walking away, you're still filming him. You're showing America ass cheeks. I don't think we were ready for. I know I was not ready for seeing that. I don't want to see a 61-year-old man's ass. So
I mean, the glutes are in shape, though. I'll tell you that, man. I don't want to see it either, but his glutes are in shape.
Oh man, it's a vision I can't get out of my. I can't get it out now. It's like it's etching my. I was like, what was that? It was just weird.
It would have been great had he came out and boxed in that. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that would have been great. It would have been if he was like Yokozuna back in the WWE days.
That's what it definitely looked like. It looked like a little miniature of Yokozuna.
It would have been great had he came out in that. I lost money though. I thought he was gonna win. I thought he was gonna knock Jake Paul out, but
he had a shot in the first round. That was it.
You knew at the end of the second round that money's gone. One more thing. We had a terrible weekend with Inter Miami losing last week, but basically everybody lost but the Dolphins. Hurricanes still control their own destiny. Wake Forest, Syracuse, they win those two games. They win the ACC championship game. They are into the college football playoff. Do you see this Miami Hurricanes football team winning out these next quote unquote 3 games?
No doubt. No doubt. I think the Georgia Tech game was a big wake-up call. Obviously, UM's been playing in close games all year, right? Every year or every game has essentially been a close game other than the Duke game where we blew them out in the second half. It's been close. So, I think it was kind of a wake-up call. Mario Cristobal is going to, he's going to lean into his guys there. He's going to voice his opinions, and I think they'll be back and they'll win out. And, I don't understand these guys that vote for the college football playoff and stuff like that. I don't really get it. I don't understand how so many SEC teams with one loss, so many Big Ten teams with one loss, were ranked 1, 2, 3, 4 ahead of UM and some of these other teams that were undefeated. But look, as long as UM controls their own destiny and win out, this could be the year. We always say it. The U is back.
Hey, I sure believe in that. Real quick, before we let you go, Daniel Solana, Battered Herons podcast. Now that Inter Miami is out of the playoffs for MLS, as a soccer fan, what can we look forward to these next couple of weeks or couple of months?
There's a lot to look forward to. So in the MLS, you've got a lot of dates now coming up in November and December. You have the expansion draft for the new team out there in San Diego. So Inter Miami is going to have to, over the next couple of weeks, reserve some of the players to not be on the list to be drafted. So you have that. Then you also have the end of the year, roster signings and releases and things that have to happen. So the month of December is going to be really interesting. You got the super draft, and then you have the transfer window coming up. So a lot of interesting things coming up in the next month and a half for Inter Miami, even though they're out of the playoffs. There's still going to be a lot of names tied to them. So, keep checking into my account, keep checking into Battered Herons. And I know you guys will be doing your part to support Inter Miami and always throwing out the information out there. So definitely stay tuned, guys. It's going to be an interesting couple months.
Yeah, one thing to look forward to, whether Inter Miami is playing or not, Daniel Solana, when we're on the air, you're coming to join us. You're always invited, and we're going to have you on no matter what. Rain or shine, Inter Miami, you are going to be a part of this show. We
and always remember, he's the better Solana.
How do they get in touch with you? How can they follow you, Daniel Solana?
It's right there. You can follow me at Danny Solana5, DANI Solana5. I'm on all social media apps. Also opened up my own YouTube page, guys. I'm doing play-by-play on games now in English and in Spanish. So you guys want to go check it out. That's Daniel Solana 305. I'm all over it, man. All over soccer, all over Heat basketball, all over Canes. Guys, thank you for having me. Love coming on. Anytime you want me, I'm in.
Thank you for joining us, man. They always thank you for joining us.
Like we say, Inter Miami might be out, but Daniel Solana isn't going anywhere on Sports Day. Thank you so much. We're going to come back and keep it a buck here on 560 WQAM.
Plus, you can use the rewind feature and listen to anything you missed. Hurry!
I'm not scared to death. I'm not shook. I'm here to keep it a buck 100% with my cousin Vladimir Lewisson. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a while, but we're back. We're not going anywhere, at least till 4 o'clock. Unless you want to stick around an extra hour, Vlad.
No.
Okay. Let's keep it a buck real quick. I'm going to tell you this. Miami Dolphins are going to win against the Raiders tomorrow and the next week against the New England Patriots pretty easily. That's not the keep it a buck part. Keep it a buck part is I think there's some Dolphins fans that don't want that to happen because it hurts the draft. Honestly, I think at some point, they don't really want that. Middling, as we call it.
You know what's funny? I agree with you. I think that's a whole, that's really, you kept it a buck there, that there are some fans that would rather see them lose.
Yep.
But
try to stack wins.
You basically, here's the thing. You're one loss away from all right, it's done, right?
You're also a winning streak away from.
But you're also, it's as if every win that matters, you start, put it this way, man. It's like a car that you wanted to get going, but you don't know. You just, every stop, just move it forward every stop. But as long as it picks up wins, so first exit is the Raiders. Second exit, if they win, you move on to the next exit, which is the Patriots. If you win there, that you want to be 5-6 going into that Green Bay game. And if you win that Green Bay game, everybody in South Florida and all Dolphin fans have had the best Thanksgiving they've had in a long time.
On a 4-game winning streak, still alive in the playoffs.
Would you be on a no? You would be on a 4-game winning streak. So you would be 6-6, and you would have a short. Not a short. I'm sorry. You would have a mini bye. Like it would be a 10-day bye, and then you take on the Jets.
Yep.
The team
at home. On a December 8th, Sunday,
right.
1 o'clock.
So you go in there and you're looking at your schedule. There's winnable games. Like the two toughest games is Houston and San Francisco,
and they're back to back.
Right. And Houston right now doesn't seem like they're the same formidable foe.
They looked really good against Detroit for about 3.5 quarters.
But if you can't put a team away that's giving you 5 interceptions, it was not even 5 turnovers, 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 5 turnovers, but it wasn't like fumbles. It was just picks, come on, man. You should be able to pick the ball off and get the ball in some good field position. But anyway.
49ers haven't looked like world beaters this year, though.
But they also are getting their guys healthy.
They're starting to get healthy.
So it would be a good test because both teams at that point should be healthy, barring any significant injury at that time. So, yeah. But you didn't give yourself
a lot of room for error.
Any room for error. So one slip up and it's Rap City. And then now what? Because then you're going to say, well, because next year's when all the contracts kick in, right?
Yes.
So do you want a first round pick to be higher? Because right now you would be drafting 10th. If the season ended today, you'd be drafting 10. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Do you want to keep on winning and then lose, and then now you're a 7-10 team or 8-9 team, and then now you're like drafting 16th or like 14th, and you might not get the best player talent-wise. You might be, you might get the best, player available, but you might not get for a need because you got to shore up the offensive line.
You might need to get a backup quarterback in some way, shape, or form.
You're definitely gonna have to use gonna have to get a backup quarterback in free agency or to draft just in case another significant injury happens to Tua. So yeah, you're teetering a line right now. But if you stack up wins and you keep on improving, then yeah, and then you getting the wins and there's a shot for you to make the playoff, which is what the season's all about. I mean, obviously, the season's was about winning the division, but it's about getting the playoff and winning the playoffs. So if you can get in the playoff, that means you still have a chance to win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So let's just get in. Just get in.
Once again, though, look at the other side of the coin, though, Vlad. This team, let's just say, for some reason, falls to the Raiders and the Patriots and pretty much falls out of the playoff picture. You could kind of see Tyreek Hill's got the wrist. get him out of there.
Then
Tua's got the concussion.
Well, then you
get him out of
recoup
there.
for next. You see, the thing about it is,
Ron
right?
Armstead, you're not
If
going to
you-
be showing up.
If you sit back and think about it, right? After all the anger and angst get out of all the Dolphin fans, you think about it. All right, they did sign all the nearly $250 million, right? But that all doesn't kick in until 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So 2025 is really the most important year in Dolphin history. It's probably the most important year in Dolphin history in a very long time, because that's when the Tua contract kicks in, Waddle's extension, Hill, and
Jalen
Ramsey, right? Also, you don't know what you're going to be doing with Javon Holland. So much is going to be, McDaniel. This is going to be 4 years with McDaniel.
Mm-hmm.
What has he done? There's going to be pressure, even though he got the extension, but they gave you the extension. But now, all right, last year might have been like, when I mean last year, I'm talking about this season. We don't know how it's going to end, but it's really it didn't start out too great, and it might not end too great. We don't know. It's still up in the air. But next year, there can't be no slow start. And there's got to be a significant amount of improvement in many, many areas of this team. That's depth. That's a backup quarterback that's having, something ready. And they're going to question his offensive game planning of how people, there's that narrative. There's the rumor that people figured out the Dolphins offense.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of focus on Mike McDaniel next year. His ass might be on the foreman.
It seems like it. We've got a lot of the post-game calls after losses that Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel need to get fired. So when there's smoke, there's fire.
I think definitely if they don't make the playoff, Chris, the street's going to need a body, bro.
And that's a body that needs to possibly, if they don't make the playoffs this year, possibly go. But we'll say one game at a time right now. We're worried about the Las Vegas Raiders tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Going to get you caught up with everything happening in and around the sports world next here on Sports Day 560 WQAM.
is here forever. This 97.
It is a football Saturday. Good sports weekend. We had the Tyson Paul fight last night. We got football all day. Got some UFC tonight. Then we got pro football all day tomorrow. Going into Monday night, got some Monday night football. Yeah, we got plenty of action. We got plenty of scores to get to, too. We're on the top 25. Texas defeating Arkansas right now. That's in Arkansas, 13-0. That is in the third quarter. Ohio State is skull-drugging Northwestern 28-7. Clemson is beating Pitt 17-7. That's at halftime. Utah and Colorado. Colorado up 21-9 at halftime. Tulane, number 25 in the nation, defeating Navy 20-0. That's in the third. And then Alabama and Mercer just getting underway. That is tied at 0. I'm trying to see if there's any other scores of really note going on right now. Vlad, you care about UMass and Liberty?
No. But I am upset with Navy, though.
Yeah, Navy, man. Not showing up against Tulane.
I had Navy.
You gotta watch out, man. Garden District of New Orleans, the mean streets of the Garden District of New Orleans.
It's Navy. The midshipmen were 7-2, man.
I know.
And they're at home. They're getting wiped out, man. That's not good.
Marshall, Coastal Carolina. Marshall's up on Coastal Carolina, 10-7. Later on today, you get Oregon, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's going to get killed in that game. Boise State, San Jose State. I love watching that Ashton Genty. He is as good as advertised. What a great running back over there at Boise State. They got some guys.
Oh, yes. No, I hope they get to the playoffs, man. That'd be great.
They got a great tight end over there, too, at Boise State. I was watching the game the other day. SMU's been a great story this year, and we might have to face them, but hopefully we get to face them in the ACC championship game. They're as high as 14th in the country right now, taking on Boston College at 3:30 today. That's very exciting. Louisville, Stanford, that's an ACC game. Yes, Louisville and Stanford, ACC. Missouri, South Carolina, LSU, Florida, that 3:30 today. And then a lot of the games are just going to keep on rolling. The latest game, though, in case you're looking to chase your bets, and you know we always are, 10:30 kickoff tonight between San Diego State and UNLV.
All right, I could parlay that with the John Jones Stipe fight. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just giving you options here. You know,
all right.
I'm keeping you.
No, Hawaii. Wait, Hawaii's not playing at 11:59 tonight.
No, they're not. Let's see. I think they're playing away this week. That's why you're not getting a lot. I know. You got to get used to Hawaii. Maybe
there's nothing.
Yeah, they're at Utah State.
At what time? 10:30.
3 o'clock today.
What?
Yeah.
Hawaii doesn't even know how to play in the afternoon.
I don't know how does that happen?
They're like vampires.
How does that happen? At Utah State, 3 o'clock kickoff, which means in Utah it's going to be either 1 or
no, it's going to be 12:30.
So Utah, 3 o'clock. So Utah's in the western time zone?
It's noon. Yeah, when it goes back an hour, it's
not
3 hours.
Not in the mountain.
No, it's in the mountain, but you know how it is. The mountain turns in. They go when the hour goes back. They go 3 hours. Mountain's 2 hours, but when the hour goes back, it becomes 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I know the whole daylight savings time. Everything. I get it. I'm old now. I kind of like everything just being the same time.
Are you one of those
people? It took me. Yeah, it was until 2 weeks ago that it finally. I was like, yeah, you know what?
Time change.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, when I was living in the West Coast, it felt great knowing that you bums in the East Coast, 8 o'clock, you're watching a game, and it's 5 p.m. over here in the West Coast, or watching the Sunday Ticket. Like from noon to midnight, you're watching in the East Coast. You're watching games. You know what I'm saying?
I thought you and Jacksonville State are playing right now.
In the West Coast, it's only 10 p.m. to 8 p.m. 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So your Sunday night's not ruined.
No, you have a lot of time, man.
Yeah,
games
that's
early.
what I thought. That's what I'm saying. That was the only reason why. But now that I've gotten older, nah, man. Let everything be the same time. One saving time. One standard time.
One standard time. No falling back and no springing forward. None of that. Okay.
Spring same. How about that? No spring back, no spring forward. Spring same.
Do you get upset when the Dolphins come out in their new uniforms and don't wear their throwbacks? Their throwbacks should be their always uniforms. Is that another take you're going to champion with your old man ways?
I love the old 80s uniforms.
Yeah.
You don't like the old 80s uniforms?
They're awesome. I think all uniforms.
I don't think all uniforms are awesome, bro. I don't think all of them look great. Not all of them.
I think it's awesome.
Nah, I don't like the orange I don't like when they do the orange.
I love when people get into these deep debates about uniforms. It has nothing to do with the game whatsoever.
No, but you listen. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I made fun of Tobin about this because Tobin I'm like, Toby, do you watch the game because you want your team to win, or you watch the team because you want to be entertained? It's a little bit of both, but mostly in the entertainment side. You just still, because you're a person who wants to represent your team. If you have some merchandise, some merch that's nice, I'm gonna rock it. I want to cop it, and if I cop it, I'm gonna rock it. So therefore, yes, I'm gonna look at your unis and see if it's nice. Like for example, the Heat are coming out with their City Edition uniforms. I saw it, wasn't impressed with it. Why? It looked like something I can get at any sporting goods store.
Yeah,
across America. But if it was dope, like the Vice City Connects, yeah, you damn right I'm going to spend some money on those. That looked nice. Carry on.
Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, 8 rounds last night. Jake Paul wins by unanimous decision. Katie Taylor, she won a controversial match against Amanda Serrano. A lot of people online caping up for Amanda Serrano.
She needs a Jordan deal. She was wearing Jordan sneakers well.
Oh, she was wearing Jordan?
Yeah, well, the Katie Taylor was wearing boxing shoes. I see Amanda Serrano rocking like Jordan 11. So I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Did I hear correct that Jake Paul was wearing $1 million shorts last night?
Yes, apparently.
That's a waste of money, Vlad. You want to talk about uniforms?
How is it a waste of money if I'm making $40 million?
Because that's 1/40th of your money going to your shorts.
Somebody might have paid him?
Yeah, that's true too. I might auction those bad boys off.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I had to
wearing
purchase
shorts
something,
like Mike Tyson.
Listen, I'm already upset with the Jordans that I buy, that if somebody like touches them or even gets near them. So think about sweating in something that's $1 million worth.
Dang.
No, I'm not sweating that. Like, no. And I'm not buying anything that for $1 million that I can only wear once.
Well, you can wear it more than once.
Yeah, but if you wear it again, people will be like, ain't that the same short you fought Mike Tyson in?
Wouldn't that be something like you have to run out to Target to pick up like me, I need new socks. And you're like, I'll just throw something on, put $1 million shorts on and start walking around Target. What? It was the first thing I grabbed. I don't know.
That would be the ultimate bougie thing to do.
Yeah. And you've seen his cars. Jake Paul's got some nice cars that he just does crazy things like,
hey man,
shout out
to him. To them. I mean,
what a great event though. What a great event.
They know how to hustle and they execute it very well. And last night, all I know is that everybody talked about this fight, this event. It was the #1 trending topic on X, formerly known as Twitter. It was definitely the topic that was in everybody's group chat, group text, and 72,000 people went to witness a exhibition fight between a Hall of Fame, baddest man on the planet, 61-year-old fighter who hasn't fought in any fight of seriousness. And when they put fam, when they put the days of how long it's been since Tyson fought like a serious round, not like an exhibition, but like a something of work of substantial. They said 7,000 like 21, like 7,000 like 200 days, like whatever, right? And I'm like, oh, that ain't. I wanted to, and immediately I was like, oh, that ain't. And then I thought about it because I did the math, right? The Forrest Gump came in me. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, that's over 20 years, bro.
Yeah, I want to say he hasn't won a professional fight since 2002.
That's over 20 years.
Oh.
Like he hasn't fought like a real serious round in over like, so they're not okay. We're not considering the exhibition with Roy Jones, even though I think he internally bled. He caused Roy Jones to have internal bleeding because Roy was looking at those punches when he was commentating, and you could tell the pain was coming back. It was like he felt that. It was like old boxing flashbacks. But Tyson hadn't fought in a serious competitive round in over 20 years. And I was like, ooh, all that trash talk I was doing. I was like, ooh, I might have to eat my words. I might have to eat my words.
Oh, Tyreek Hill not eating his words. He says if he has to, he'll cut off his wrist because he kind of needs wrist surgery, but he says he's waiting until the end of the season. He will continue to play. Jalen Ramsey cleared to play tomorrow. Teron Armstead, questionable. Dolphins, Raiders, 1:00 kickoff. We'll be on post game. Are you on tomorrow, Vlad, with myself and you?
I don't know anything that's going on with the post game tomorrow.
Oh, so you're not a part of it.
I don't know what station it's gonna be on.
I do know it's gonna be on this station, but it's gonna be on at like 8:00. 8 to 10:30.
So wait, we're doing a post game?
We're doing like a I don't even know. We'll talk about it. My reactions are gonna be a little simmered at the time, no matter what happens.
So wait, we do. So
there's a Heat
you're gonna
game.
be on at 8 p.m.
We got pregame from 9 to 1 for then there's going to be Heat games on, and we're
no Heat game. What's the Heat games at
5?
Is it 5 or 7?
It's 5 o'clock.
It's a 5 p.m. game. So
when that game ends, then you and I will jump on.
No, because it's Heat post game.
Well, after the post game,
that's usually an hour and 30 minutes.
Man,
there's no post game, bro. What?
There is. It's real. It's real. It was supposed to start at 8. There's no way it's starting at 8, so that means we'll be on at 8:30 or so. It'd be awesome. Hot takes.
By the time you get on the post game, the Sunday night football game will be over.
I know. I mean, all the takes will have been taken. Come on.
By the way, I did say Forrest Gump. I met Rain Man. My bad, yo. You got me capped for life. Yeah, I met Rain Man. I had Dustin Hoffman in the head, but I went to Tom Hanks.
If you're wondering where the Hurricanes football game is, there is no Hurricanes football game. They have a bye week, licking their wounds after that Georgia Tech loss.
But next Saturday, the 23rd,
noon,
Senior Day.
Noon. Oh, Senior Day.
Yeah, the last day. This is the last home game.
I know.
So, ladies and gentlemen, go support your 9-1 University of Miami Hurricanes in their last home game of the season. Last home game for the seniors. That's the last home game of the season.
No, because
it's still not gonna. I mean, even though it'll be a home game, it might not be. But it's not gonna be considered a home game.
They have to go straight. They go straight to a bowl game.
No, they go to Charlotte for the ACC championship game.
No, but I'm talking about if they win the ACC championship game, they get a bye in the first round, so there might be a bowl game instead of a home game.
It'd be a bowl game at Hard Rock instead of a home game. It would be a home game.
Okay,
but it would be a bowl game.
Good thing I'm sober right now, because what you just said already confused me as I was sober.
No, it's a playoff game,
right? When do the bowls kick in?
The bowls kick in.
That's it.
No, I don't think question. You know what? Let me look it up.
College football, man.
It's all about money, baby.
All that matters is this: the Hurricanes just need to win out. If they win out, they'll win the national championship. If they win their next 2 games, they're into the ACC championship game. If they win the next 3 games, which would include the 2 games against Wake Forest, Syracuse, and the ACC championship game, they get a bye in the first round of the playoffs. There you go. Just win, baby. That's what we. Oh, I shouldn't say that because the Raiders are coming to town. That's an Al Davis thing. 2-0 Canes basketball team. They host Coppin State tomorrow at 2. They win out, they'll also win the national championship. The Heat defeated the Pacers 124-111 in NBA Cup action yesterday. Bam Adebayo had 30, while Kevin Love added 15 in just 12 minutes. Miami, they play Indiana tomorrow at 5. It is not an NBA Cup game. It is a regular season game, although NBA Cup games are also regular season games. This is the confusing part of the show, where we start twisting and turning everything into different ways. But yeah, Bam Adebayo finally breaking out, getting a big game. Tyler Hero, that new offense, and just, I guess, where he's at physically and mentally right now, just seems to be working because he is having an unbelievable season.
Yes, he is. And to clarify the college football playoff and bowls, the bowl game is going to start in its usual time, which is like 2-3 weeks after the college football season ends. And there are bowl games that will be included in the college football playoffs, and that takes place when the semifinals are hosted by 6 bowls on a rotating basis, and the 2 semifinals and the 4 top tier bowls are known as the New Year's Six. So yes, there will be some bowls that will be part of the college football playoff, but not every bowl.
Right, obviously. I knew that. I know, yeah. But I was just saying Miami, their first game.
Miami would be their first game would be if
home.
They were the 5th, if they were a conference champion, but they were ranked 5th. It would be home at Hard Rock against the 12th seed, but I don't think it would be a bowl game. It'd just be
it would be a playoff game.
Yeah,
first
round college football playoff.
First round, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Panthers, they're losers of 2 in a row. New Jersey Devils got them. They look to get right tonight against the 15-2 Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg
Big game.
They have no ties either. They're legitimately just 15-2.
Yeah. They are either going to win majority of the games or lose a couple.
Sounds like the Panthers need to knock them off their high horse tonight, and then in Winnipeg. It's that traditional South Florida Winnipeg back-to-back. Well, not back-to-back days. They get a couple days off until Tuesday, but still.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, man. It's not like, come on. That's the shortest trip in hockey from Florida to Winnipeg.
Oh, remember last year when everybody?
Oh my God, Edmonton.
And Edmonton's not even like close to the border. Goodness.
Bro, Cats had to order their ticket now, get to the airport in 2 hours for like 38 hours layovers, and then they get to the arena. Like they'll get to Edmonton like 2 hours right before the game starts, go to the game, stay in Edmonton for one day, go to the second game, and then leave right after the second game.
It's ridiculous.
Like the traveling that a lot of the people had to deal with, especially the media members that were covering the NHL playoff and obviously the Panthers. They had a lot of yeoman's work, man. Like I felt bad. You know the little conversations you have right before you go in the locker room and you hear the media, like you see these guys actually like scheduling flights and booking flights and hotels, like right there, like literally right after the game on the elevator, freight to go down and waiting outside the locker room.
With that being said, if they want to send you and I to Winnipeg or Edmonton, we are more than happy to take that trip.
We'll sleep in a car. We don't care about that.
We're really, when people complain, oh my God, I got to go to Buffalo. I'm like, don't go. Don't go. We'll go. We'll use your company money and go.
But
then, okay,
also,
well, it's not that bad. I'm just saying.
Also,
so stop boo-hooing about.
Well,
travel.
no, they could boo because maybe they've been to Buffalo and they know that it could be a.
Well, don't go then.
You know,
if it's that bad, don't go.
I
got to follow the team. You can follow the team from the couch. I guarantee. I'm sure the company would appreciate not having to spend the money. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. It happened here at the radio station. Someone complained about travel and situations about, going somewhere, and they just got cut out. And then they were upset because they got cut out.
It happens.
It happens, man. You got to be careful. Be careful what you wish for. Like Big Lynn used to always say, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Speaking of getting it, we want more and more 5 and 4 stars going to the U. California Prep. Star Hayden Lowe has flipped his commitment from USC to Miami, the 4-star edge rusher, part of the 2025 class. And Inter Miami, they're done for the playoffs. And, well, Messi lost another one. Argentina fell to Paraguay 2-1. As Daniel Solana told us earlier, anything can happen in soccer. You can see the worst team beat the best team, Atlanta United. And you can see the best team murder the worst team. That's why every game, seriously, you can never tell what's going to happen. But
our second favorite Solana said that the Orange Bowl will be hosting one of the semifinal games.
Okay. Yeah, I would expect the New Year's Day 6.
Yeah, one of the New Year's 6. Yeah. So the quarterfinals and semi will host a game from the New Year's 6. But then
it's so icky and messy right now.
No, because you know why?
We've never seen it before either, so we're not like accustomed to how the playoffs are going to work.
That's one. You're right with that. Second, it's been a long time since the Canes have been in a position like this as well. So the fact that they could be part of the first college football playoffs is something that Canes fans would want to see, because it's been a while since we've been first in anything.
We're usually at this point in the season just hoping that we're eligible for a bowl game at this point.
Right.
What bowl game are we going to?
That's been the norm over the last 5 to 6 years. So yeah,
it's all been changed, man. Mario Cristobal, year 3.
Well, yeah, year 3, Mario. But there's still you still got some tightening up to do as well. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but remember, Cam Ward, this is his only year at the U. Next year there will be a new quarterback. Once again, not getting too ahead of myself.
So that you know what that means. Once Cam leads the Canes to the playoffs and then maybe a title, alumni get that money out so we can get the next NIL, the money ready to give to the next quarterback that's out there. If Cam costs $1 million or $1.5-2 million, the next guy's probably going to cost $2.5-3 million.
Cam's got some good deals going on. He's got like luxury brand like Fendi and stuff like that as part of his NIL.
And the other thing about the Canes really have a great NIL deal. If you're getting the Cavendish twins,
yeah,
right? And there's always great. I know a lot of the good players from last year's UM basketball team was getting some good NIL deals, to the point that many think those deals is the reason why they didn't play to the level that we were accustomed to for 2 years.
Fat cat syndrome.
Yeah, people got a little too popular, with things. So
whatever happened to DJ Ungalele?
Oh, he's on the bench collecting that NIL money.
I know. I warned you about him, and you said stop it. You're not being fair to him. I said I'm being pretty fair to DJ.
Listen, the only reason why, because I gave the man a chance after Oregon State.
And after
I was wrong, because I was wrong.
Cam Ward was right though, baby. Cam Ward was right. Man, he lifted his stock so much this year. So proud of him. The U actually lead the country in points and offense. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
beautiful.
Where do they rank defensively?
That's, neither here nor there right now.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of here nor there, let's go ahead and take a step into the day spa. The upcoming Wicked movie starring Ariana Grande has apologized following releasing an advertisement directing fans to a porn site to buy dolls for the movie. You didn't see that?
No.
So you shoot the QR code, and instead of it sending you to the site to buy the dolls, sent you to a site of other dolls.
Some different wickedness?
Yeah, other wickedness. Oops.
First of all, whoever hacked that QR code for it to go to that site, kudos to them.
You are going to be working as a short order waiter or waitress at a diner in the middle of Utah for the rest of your life, by the way.
You may, but the fact that you did do that it's hysterical. It's funny as hell.
Pardon the pun, but that takes a lot of.
Oh, it takes a lot of balls. It takes a lot of balls.
So you got your kid, maybe wanting to go see the new Wicked movie. Okay, it's your birthday. Here, just shoot the QR code. Boom.
What if you're like a family, right? You shoot the QR code. Thank God this is not like on a streaming service or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you're watching it like on Disney and you hit the QR code and you have it's a website and all of a sudden you hear some noises that you're not supposed to be hearing. You're like, Mommy, Daddy, why are you on Wicked?
We have to go see Wicked.
You know what I mean? Like, is that the noise that you make at night, Mommy?
Yeah. Are you starring in that movie too? Because y'all make the sounds at night.
Is this a home movie? I was like, that's awkward.
That being said, I gotta see Wicked now. Up next, some acts. Are they getting old here in South Florida, or are we still cool with some of these guys and gals? We'll talk about it next here on 560 WQAM.
WQAM broadcasting live from the Ed Morse
when you're winning, everything is happy-go-lucky and everything is funny and the sun's always shining and the weather's always beautiful and everything is cool. So you start losing, it starts testing you a little bit more. And we've had a little bit of our fair share of losing in South Florida recently. It's not all puppy dogs and sunshine. So some people whose acts we used to just be endearing and love kind of gone, One act that, when we're winning, when we're losing, you know who that act is? Seems like every time we hear from him, we go, I'm talking about Mike McDaniel.
I think it validates a lot of the things that were frustrating guys and forcing them to find solutions. I think it helps you appreciate the why of what you do, because you get to that. There's nothing like that feeling after a game of mission accomplished for an entire team. So I think it validates a lot of things that have been felt and said, a lot of motivation that guys have had to steer the ship the right way. And I think you get to see people's true character in times of adversity. And I think that's why I was proud of the effort, and I've been proud of the week by week commitment to getting better as a football team, even when the results weren't necessarily showing up in the win column. So I think the formula to get to that point, to be able to have a collective team game the way we had, that's been built up through a bunch of adversity. And I think the locker room understands that it's gonna. We found the formula, which is a fixation on our own game and constant strain and commitment, and we have to continue to do that to get results like we did last night.
Long story short, Mike McDaniel is saying that the win against the Rams validates the team's thought that they are a good team. Now, last year when Mike McDaniel had the offense rolling, greatest show on surf, and everything seemed to be good, we were a playoff team, we were contending for the second overall seed in the AFC. That was quirky. It was funny. It was genius. Now, what are you talking about? The other night, post-game, he said he didn't see the Jordan Poyer unsportsmanlike conduct penalty live, as opposed to, I don't know what he was watching. Was asked why he didn't call a timeout against Buffalo to ice the kicker. He said, well, I was thinking about the next play, so I kind of got lost track of time. Things start being less and less cute when you're not winning all the time. Is Mike McDaniel's act, Vlad, getting maybe, I'm not going to say old here in South Florida, but people are starting to tire on it a little bit.
Tire.
Really tire. And you hear on all the shows, people are like, oh my God, here we go again.
It's tiring. They're getting a little, because right now, you know how we always say this, Cousin, how, they love you in the beginning until you start showing consistency or a constant habit. You've shown a consistency of being able to, put up points and win games, but you've also shown a constant habit of not beating good teams.
Mm-hmm.
So when us, the viewing public, the sports fans who are always begging for more information, whether on the sports, whether on social media or on television, when we hear these pundits, so-called pundits, speak about the teams or the players that you love, and they start saying those things, then that stays in your head. So if you listen in the First Take, you're listening to Colin Coward or Get Up, or as people like to say, Jet Up, or Dan Patrick, whatever those shows are, and they're talking about how the Dolphins are not able to beat teams above 500. Then that's going to be, then that's what the writers, and the writers are saying that. Then that's going to be the narrative about you. Like we spoke earlier this week, the narrative of Elliott. What's his name? Deshaun Elliott? That was his name? I think it was the name of Deshaun Elliott, the former cornerback for the Dolphins that went to Pittsburgh and said that he don't think the Dolphins will ever win because they're soft. They're not disciplined enough. Miami has too much distractions. That's messed up. That's a nasty narrative to have. That's a nasty, you don't want that label on you. That's a stain on your jacket. You don't want that. But they're gonna have to do something about it in order for people to not continue with that same narrative.
Mhm.
And they haven't been able to do that. So when Mike McDaniel giving you all right, 1 year, okay, you're the new wonder kid. Second season, 11 games, right? Woo! You're unbelievable. All right, cool. But now when you're third year, we know you can coach. We know you can get players and coach. They can execute your system. We know that. But now you want to see the next step. You want to see wins in the playoff, wins against other teams, wins on the road in cold weather. Like you want all the negative, or asterisks that they have about you, you want them wiped out so that when people talk about the Miami Dolphins, they're talking about the Miami Dolphins as a contender, a team that can go all the way to the Super Bowl and win, contend for a Super Bowl, win Super Bowl. And I don't think anybody sees that. So, yeah, they're getting tired of the Mike McDaniel answers because it was cool. Remember the Mikey fit? Oh, it's all cool in the beginning when you're winning. But then
it's new.
And it's new. It's new and winning, just like a new relationship.
Yeah, everything's
But
great.
But what happens when I'm in a relationship? Oh, we're not getting engaged. There's no serious commitment. Or we're not winning in the playoffs.
You lie to yourself every time, whether it's a relationship or a new coach or a new quarterback or whatnot. You do this at the beginning.
Hope.
This is so great.
It's hope.
It's not going to be like the other ones. This one's actually going to always be good.
What's the 4-letter word that has O and E in the O in the middle and E at the end? That's the worst thing ever. Hope.
So Mike McDaniel, win some games, win a playoff game. We'll put up with your ranting and raving.
Sports hope is the worst disease ever because we all have it every season right before the season begins. So Dolphins fans, they had a lot of hope.
Still got hope.
And they still have hope. But do they believe that guy could lead them? I think people are questioning that seriously now.
So we'll say Mike McDaniel's act is getting a little tired. It's not completely tired. Getting a little
I don't know. It's a little. I put it this way. I don't think he's getting fired after the season.
No.
But next year, if things are not improved, especially if this year ends up not being the way that people envision, the act's going to get really, really old.
Even with the Dolphins, one Tyreek Hill. Now, Tyreek Hill, you take the whole package. He is the cheetah. He is one of the greatest receivers of all time. He has had kind of a down year. He's got the off the field stuff, not just the arrest or the detainment at the beginning of the season before the first game. He's been kind of weird. He and his old lady have their issues. That's their personal life, but it's kind of seeped out. House catches on fire. He lies about a lot of stuff, talking about I want to be a porn star and I don't want to play football anymore. And I got 15 kids. That might not be a lie. Nonetheless, he's got a lot of stuff going on. Tyreek Hill recently said, I got a wrist problem, but I'm going to play through it. I'll have surgery at the end of the year, or I might have to cut my wrist off. He's crazy and wild like that. I don't feel as though his act's tired though, Vlad. I still like Tyreek Hill.
Tired, man.
You're tired of Tyreek? Do you think Tyreek Hill's act is tired?
Before the year starts, bro.
I like it. Cut your wrist off.
What 2 plays did I tell you that their act might start getting old?
We're going to talk about the other one. The other one's old.
Who was the first one?
Tyreek Hill.
Okay. And what's going on right now?
I'm not tired of it.
You're not tired of it, but people started getting tired of it. Jacksonville.
You bring up a good point, Vlad. Him trolling the other day when someone on X put I used to love watching you catch deep bombs. He's like, now I'm just a blocker. That was a little angry and upsetting.
I'm just saying the act started to get old after the arrest. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about performance and production. Once performance and production go down, people will not
put up with all that nonsense.
No, they won't. They're not going to be able to put up with you. They want you out. They're going to want you out. Same thing with Jimmy. Jimmy, that's great. NBA Finals, talking trash to the Celtics and Knicks. Beautiful thing. But now you're not playing games. You're not you haven't won the championship. And people are not talking about you the same.
So I'm not tired of Tyreek. Jimmy Butler, on the other hand, I'm out and about all the time.
So you're not tired of Tyreek?
I'm not tired of Tyreek. I still think he's working hard. I still think he tries to give his team the best chance to win. I still think he's got a lot of talent. I can put up with him right now. I can. I don't think he's as tired of an act. Jimmy, on the other hand, Vlad, you and I are always out, whether it's Duffy's Implantation, Funky Buddha, whatnot. A lot of Heat fans are tired of Jimmy Butler because when he twisted his ankle or turned his ankle in that Minnesota Timberwolves game, Was there any doubt that he was not going to come back? Did you say, oh, no, they'll get him back in the game? Did you ever doubt that he wasn't going to miss a few games? And you know what else is hurting his image right now? That Tyler Hero is balling. You know what a lot of people are starting to say? If you can get a good trade for Jimmy, trade him. He's getting old. His act is getting old. He's not playing in games. We've got Tyler Hero now that seems to maybe have turned a corner. We still have a good enough team. We can get something for Jimmy, and he's at the end of his career. He's at the end of his contract. Jimmy's act, okay, let me just put it this way. He needs to get his act together. And I know when you're injured and all this stuff, it just doesn't look good. And I think Heat fans are getting tired of Jimmy. I think out of Mike McDaniel, Tyreek Hill, and Jimmy Butler, South Florida fans are really tired of Jimmy's act right now.
I think both of them, both fan bases are starting to get tired of their act. And like you said, the more they win, I think it's worse in the NBA than it is in football.
Yes.
Because the more that the team is winning and they showing a show of cohesion and a chemistry, then the more it's going to be like, okay, who's the cancer? And once you start seeing if the best players happens to be the cancer, not saying that Jimmy's a cancer, but if the best player is not identifying with the team, and you don't see that because they all love Jimmy. Nico's favorite player is Jimmy. They all the young guys, they fall under Jimmy. But there's a lot of things that comes with Jimmy, and plus Jimmy wants a contract. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. Do you want this same type of behavior for the next 2 to 3 seasons?
Pat Riley told him too. I mean, like Pat Riley did not mince his words. He said he needs to shut up and he needs to play more.
So,
has Jimmy shut up? Yes.
Yeah,
playing more?
What's this? This is gonna be game number 3. He's going to miss tomorrow.
Yes.
So hopefully he's back by Monday when they take on Philadelphia.
Hopefully that would seem like a Jimmy spot to fall back in against Philadelphia. Tobias Harris over me.
Well, he's no longer.
I know. I'm just saying, the history there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it's gonna be that's gonna be the funny game. That's gonna be like that's gonna be like the Tales of the Crypt game, man. There's gonna be a lot of injured players out there, bro. You got Embiid, you got Paul George, Tyrese Maxey might be coming back from his hamstring injury, and then Jimmy might be able to come back. Kevin Love just came back. Yeah. All right, we'll see.
Jimmy Butler, get your act together.
Jimmy and Tyreek, I do
Hill.
believe that their act is starting to get a little tiring. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like your favorite TV show. You start seeing that, it's probably got one more season left. Then it's time to pull the plug. That may happen with Tyreek and Jimmy. But you know what, though? Thinking about the Tyreek situation, maybe not so with Tyreek because Jalen Waddle's not putting up the numbers as well. Remember, if Jalen Waddle was always considered a number 1 receiver or like a 1A in his first 2 years. But this season, I don't know what's happened to him. I don't think it can solely be on the fact that Tua missed 4 games or everything like that. He was dropping passes before, but Waddle has not seemed to be the same player that he was before he signed his extension.
And Mike McDaniel get it together.
We'll see.
Come back with something or nothing here on Sports Day 560 WQAM. Along with my cousin Vladimir Lewisson, I am Dan Day on Sports Day 560 WQAM. You can always watch us live on Twitch and YouTube. Just put in 560 WQAM. You can stream us around the world on the Odyssey app. What's up, Big Lynn? All day, all day. And you can also just listen to us traditionally on the radio, 560 WQAM. Right now, I'm going to do a little something or nothing. I'm going to read out some things, and my cousin will tell me whether it's something or nothing. Seattle Seahawks, Connor Williams is going to retire for personal reasons at age 27, foregoing the final 8 games of this season. Is that something or nothing?
What team did he play for?
He used to play for the Dolphins, by the way. Another one where we can't let him go. This team will fall apart. Chris Greer, we'll give you the bad and the good. Good job. Good job on that one, Chris Greer.
I mean, it's something. I mean, it's, prayers and all the best to him in his future endeavors. It's kind of interesting when a young man at 27, an athlete, seems to retire in the prime of his career. But if you're taking personal reasons, man, get that affair all taken care of, and get your mentals right.
But once again, dodged a bullet right there. We'll give credit to the Dolphins right there. No, it's a sad incident.
It's something.
But yeah. Okay, I know what you're going to say to this one, Vlad, so I just kind of want you to talk about UFC 309 tonight. John Jones in the house. Who? John Jones. Something or nothing.
Big son.
Woo!
Big son.
I love John Jones.
Madison Square Garden, UFC 309.
The Mecca?
The Mecca. The greatest heavyweight fighter of all time, Stipe, versus the greatest fighter of all time, John Jones.
Who?
John Jones. Listen, the sport's better when John Jones is involved and actually cares. And he seems to actually care for this fight. I think this is one of those solidifies. He's already a legend.
Oh, yeah.
But you beat Stipe, who's the best in his division, who's considered the greatest in his division. You beat that solidifies like your greatest of all time. So I can't wait. Can't wait. Great fight weekend.
Another night you're going to have to stay up late because I know that fight ain't going to be coming on until
great
11,
fight weekend.
11:30.
I hope it doesn't come on too late. Now, like yesterday was all right because it was 11 p.m. Central for the people in Texas, so it wasn't that late. But we're in Garden. This is New York. That's Eastern Standard Time. Let's have it like around midnight. Let's not have it like around 1:30.
Oh, all-time bad one already. Sabrina Carpenter brought up Christina Aguilera on stage during an LA concert. Christina Aguilera was one of her idols growing up. Is that something or nothing?
That's something. Ooh. That's something beautiful, and that's something I wouldn't want to do if I'm Sabrina.
Sabrina Carpenter?
I'm not bringing in like one of the GOAT voices of all time.
She
could be my idol, but then I don't want. Then I start well, I'm a guy, so I'm fanboying, but she's a girl. I start fangirl and forget that this is my concert, and she starts singing some notes, huh?
Yeah, you're not on my stage.
Yeah. And then people start remembering how great Christina is, and then you get on the mic and like, oh man, just can realize Sabrina can't really sing like one Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not doing that. Not for a long time. You could cut a note or two. You can sing a note or two.
Just come on stage away.
Yeah. Sing a chorus.
No,
I'm so beautiful. And that's it. Yeah, I'm out.
Thank you.
Get out.
Thank you. Speaking of artists that I don't want to be like, Kanye West is being sued by a staffer for hostile work environment where he said really nasty sexual things about his baby mama, Kim Kardashian, and in true Kanye fashion, anti-Semitic comments. Something or nothing.
Tomorrow, Sunday.
Kanye, man. I can't back that dude, man.
So Kanye saying or doing something controversial. Okay.
Now he just goes by yay.
Okay. And
say your ass out the door, man.
Yeah, tell me something. All right, Captain Obvious. Tell me something we don't already know. Tomorrow, Sunday. Okay?
This will be one of your favorite stories, Vlad. An Orlando robbery victim.
Okay.
Is arrested after police respond to his call after being robbed, find cocaine lying right out on the table. Take him in. They said, you could have at least hidden the coke before we got here. Something or nothing.
Yeah, there's a whole...
So he got robbed.
Talk about.
He got robbed.
Hold on. I need to see the picture to paint the picture. So a fellow in Orlando.
Yes.
Got robbed in his apartment or home, or whatever. In his home. And he called the cops.
Yes.
And when he called the cops came in, and instead of, they took down, his statement and everything, but they arrested him because he had cocaine on the table.
Just out and about.
While he's talking to the cops.
Yep. Dustin for Prince.
How shook was he?
Yeah, he had to be messed up.
How shook was he being robbed? Second of all, why didn't the robbers take his cocaine?
Yeah, why? That'd be the first thing I'd take, or just do it while I'm robbing the house.
Third,
that's a good point.
But no, yeah, I'm thinking like, fam, they robbed you, and the first thing you went was for the booger sugar. Like you went for the yay. Like, oh no, like I would, like I can understand you get a, you smoke a blunt, whatever. You go outside, like you gotta, but you went for the yay to calm your nerves, and then you left it on the table, and you had and you called the cops. You deserve to get robbed now. I'm sorry. Street Flat saying now you deserve to get robbed for your stupidity. That was common stupidity.
That's dumb.
That's are you dumb? Like, wait a minute.
The police even said it. You're
Yo,
dumb.
fam, you really called the cops and you left the blow on the table?
Yeah. So obviously he got robbed, pulled out his stash, took a couple bumps or keys.
Can it be a couple of bumps if the cops were able to see it?
And then you called the cops.
Fam,
that doesn't calm your nerves.
For the cops to see it, it wasn't a couple of bumps.
No. I'm just saying out of the bag.
But I'm just saying, like for the cops, you could have said that was sugar. I could have made coffee. Like you see some residue. Like for them to arrest you, there was a bag and there was some toot in it.
Yeah.
And you left it out there.
You, first of all, don't leave your bag out, period. Because nothing good's coming from you leaving your bag out, right, Vlad? You don't.
So I've heard.
Yeah, I'd never leave anything out. Anything of value, you don't leave out. Much less that. Damn. See, the cops should have been cool and just confiscated it.
Now, there's another flip to this. You know that, right?
What we got?
Maybe the guy was he was a connect or he was a middleman, a plug, and they robbed him of his stash and all his work, and the work residue was still on the table.
Oh, then he really hurt himself, man.
But then you still got to clean up, man.
Yeah, come on, man.
At least clean up the table. If you got robbed and furniture was moving, leave the furniture. But you can't. Nah, man. Nah. You deserve to get robbed.
That's something.
I'm sorry.
Back after this, 560 WQAM.
747-3733.
That's good college football games going on right now. That Colorado-Utah game looked like Colorado was going to run away from them, but tightened up a little bit with about 8 minutes left. Colorado leads 35-24, and they do have the ball right now, so maybe they can make a drive and kind of put this thing away. But it's been an interesting game so far. Got a big interesting day. LSU and Florida going to be playing coming up at about 3:30.
How you feeling, man?
I'm good with that. I'm good with LSU Florida. Last week, not so good against LSU Alabama. That was ugly. That was ugly.
Yeah, that was bad, bro.
It was bad. I know FIU is playing right now. Let me see how they're doing. They've had a not so great season. They're down 17-10. They're 3-6. 3-6, not so great. 17-10. Jacksonville State leads FIU. So they're in Jacksonville, Alabama. A lot of people don't know that. They think they're in Jacksonville, Florida. They're not. It's an Alabama team. It's an Alabama team. But yeah. So we got another hour of the show, and we're going to keep you up to date on everything that's going on with the college football, and also, of course, talk about some other sports stuff, quarterback situation, and just kind of keep it going for you on this Saturday big weekend. Like we said, the fight last night, boxing tonight. You got UFC, of course, college football all day, pro football all day tomorrow. The Dolphins are in action tomorrow at 1:00 against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Big day locally to Don. I mean, it's a big weekend now here. Obviously, after rush, and a little bit under, a little under 3 hours. Panthers against the Winnipeg Jets, best team in the hockey right now, best winning record in hockey,
15-2.
So that's going to be a good test for the Panthers, who are coming off 2 games where they lost to the New Jersey Devils at home.
Who's Inter Miami playing in the MLS playoffs?
They're Pillows.
Oh yeah, that's right. They got bounced.
Yeah, they're playing.
Best team
Pillows
in
SC.
No, not best team in soccer. That would be way over and over understatement. Best team in MLS.
Pillows FC. They're playing. In a great.
Just imagine
3-month playoffs. That's what they go.
Once again,
3-month layoff maybe.
A little inside soccer, but even if you're not a huge soccer fan, if you just know about soccer, just imagine Inter Miami, who can't beat Atlanta United in the first round of the MLS playoffs. They go to this Club World Cup and they match up against, let's just say, like Man City. How bad do you think that would be? Whew.
Pretty bad.
I'll let you work that game, Vlad.
It would be pretty bad. But yeah, no, Panthers play tonight. And then tomorrow you got Dolphins, and then you got the Heat coming off their last game of this road trip, man.
Oh, yeah. Another game in Indiana.
And we also have men college basketball with the Kings playing
back in action.
Who are they playing again?
They were playing Coppin State tomorrow, 2 o'clock tip-off. Yeah.
Coppin State used to be one of those Cinderella teams back in the tournament.
They used to always make it to the tournament.
Yeah, and then get an upset on a 2 or 3 seed.
Every once in a while, they'd sneak up on somebody.
Yeah.
Coppin State, no, they're nobody to sneeze at. That's for sure.
I like this Kings team, by the way.
The 2 games so far. I know the first game against Fairleigh Dickinson.
They're going to be able to score. That's
Fairleigh
the thing.
Dickinson's
Yeah,
not
they're going to be able to score in the ACC. It's just, will they be able to defend and have a lot of the egos got away from the team? There was a lot of egos in last year's team. So I want to know if they're egoless this season.
We'll see. Time will tell. This is the part of the schedule where, you're trying to ease into the season, but it's going to get real hard real fast. So we'll find out. Jake Paul, he defeated Mike Tyson after 8 rounds by unanimous decision last night. The co-main event was Katie Taylor of Ireland. She won a controversial match over Puerto Rico's Amanda Serrano. I like at the end when she was like, "I'm Boricua, I represent." I just like boxing guys and girls. Obviously, fight was great last night between the 2 ladies. How they hype up and sell and just talk even at the end, like, she was headbutting. That's the way she fights. We fight for real. It's like, oh man, they're just going, bro. Amanda Serrano should have won, though. I'm not gonna lie.
She got robbed.
I mean, people were booing. That was funny though. Last night, people were booing Jake Paul and Mike Tyson at points in the fight because there wasn't.
Jake could have killed him, man.
Jake Paul, dude, is a fire hydrant of a man. Like, there's no shape.
If this was a 2-round fight, I think Mike could win.
Yeah,
because he could shoot.
He went
for all his energy.
He did go for it.
Yeah, he could gas it out in the first 4 minutes. That was it. Once that 3rd round came, it was Rap City. It was like, ooh.
I mean, can you blame the poor guy? He's 58 years old.
I didn't. He's 61.
Oh, he's 61. Oh, I'm sorry. Made him younger. Jake Paul's 27.
Yeah, it was. I was like, damn.
Mike Tyson said he wants to fight Logan Paul next. Keep it in the family, I guess. Tyreek Hill revealed he needs wrist surgery, but will not have it until after the season and will continue to play. Jalen Ramsey cleared to play tomorrow. Teron Armstead questionable. Dolphins, they do face the Raiders tomorrow at 1. Win that game, just staying alive. 1 week at a time is all we can do.
Just stack up the wins, man.
1 win at a time. That's all you can do. But like I said, if you were to fall through these next 2 or 3 games, you might see this roster looking a little bit different as far as when it comes to starters, because Tyreek Hill might say, you know what, actually this wrist, let's go ahead and get it operated on. And Tua, no reason to run you out there. Although Tua seems like the type of guy that he wants to prove his worth. He'll just play no matter what.
I believe if they lose the Packers game, you might start seeing it.
Okay. Packers, tough one. That's going to be Thanksgiving night, 8:20 kickoff.
Yes, so that's the beat. So tomorrow is going to be the beginning of 3 games in 11 days. Yeah. Tomorrow against the Raiders, next Sunday against the Patriots, and then 2 Thursdays from now against the Packers on NBC. The late game in the Thanksgiving Day special. None of the games on Thanksgiving is really promising other than the Miami Green Bay game. And that's if the Dolphins win the next 2.
It's just my tradition ever since I was born to wake up, hang out, watch casually the Detroit Lions game.
Right, but guess what? You're not going to casually want to watch. If there's a team you're going to want to watch Thursday other than the Dolphins, it's probably going to be Detroit. So they're the early game.
Right.
I don't want to see Giants Cowboys. I've seen that so many times. And both teams stink.
Yeah, they both. Man, I mean, the Cowboys aren't great, but the Giants, Daniel Jones. We're going to talk about who could be a possible backup quarterback for Tua Tagovailoa next year.
Danny Dimes?
Do you think is he even good enough to hold Tua's jockstrap?
Danny Dimes could hold you down for a game or 2.
I know. Sad that we're saying that for a lot of reasons.
Hey, he took his team to the playoff and won a game.
Yeah, well, he beat Kirk Cousins and the primetime Minnesota Vikings. So,
yeah, but everybody's on Kirk's tip right now.
Well, no, I'm just saying the Vikings and Kirk Cousins have a way of fading in the brightest light.
Right, but but I'm just saying they won though.
Saints got him.
Yeah, they did get him last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you were happy with that.
I was very happy. I'm very, very happy. Now, and once again, as a Saints fan, everybody that's on the message boards,
it's not a good year for you football.
If we just wouldn't have fallen to the Panthers, we'd be right in the playoff. And I'm like, there's no way this Saints team is a playoff team. No, you'll see. Oh, hope, Vlad, hope.
I tell you, stop.
It's hurting me, man.
Hope hurts people.
Pelicans
gives you
too,
false
man.
sense of security.
Pelicans got a great team on paper. They have not been that good this year, although they beat Denver the other night. So once again, hope, Vlad, hope.
Worst 4-letter word there is, man.
I actually do have hope for the Miami Hurricanes football team. They're on a bye week, coming off a loss to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech has our number. I don't know what's going on with that. They can win out the rest of the 2 games of the season. Wake Forest new next week, then Syracuse up in Syracuse. That's going to be a sleepy game. I'm scared of that. But then they win the ACC championship game after that. They have won out those last 3 games, and they go to the college football playoff as a 4 or 3 seed. They will be high up ranked, and then we'll have something to play for. That's very exciting. We'll wait and see. We'll just wait and see. Got some good games tonight, though. Tennessee and Georgia got that 7:30.
That's a goodie. That's an elimination game. Georgia loses. I don't think they're making the college football playoffs. And same thing with Tennessee. I think both teams have 2 losses.
Yep.
And I think this is Georgia's last SEC game of the year. They got 2. I think they finished the year with Little Sisters of the Poor University and then Georgia Tech.
Yeah. I would say Georgia Tech, easy win. Never mind.
By the way, it's not Little Sister of the Poor, but it's like
Sisters of the Poor.
It's pretty much the Sister of the Poor. It might be like Mercer or something like that. I don't know.
It's always a sneaky one.
It's not really a big name program. It's not even I don't think it's a Division I program.
No.
And then they finished the year with Georgia Tech. So they need this victory over Tennessee because at least that's a good resume. Granted, it's the SEC, and I know if it was in any other conference, they would not give them the same leeway. They wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like they wouldn't give them.
Right.
You lose 2 losses, you're out. But Georgia had one of the most difficult schedules I've ever seen in my life.
It was rough, man.
Like every week they were going against a top 10 or top 15 team on the road at home. So,
well,
I still put them in the playoff if they only have 2 losses.
Yeah, just on reputation and talent alone. FAU is up 7-3 on Temple. Hawaii losing to Utah State 7-0. The reason I say
too early for
Hawaii
them.
because they're not playing late.
It's too early for them.
It's too early,
They
and
don't
we
even
always
know
try to chase our bets with Hawaii, so we're familiar with the team.
Always, if you're having a bad Saturday, you can always get it back with a Hawaii 11:59 p.m. game.
I love that 11:59
that's so
kickoff
great.
too.
And if there's a Sunday morning 9:30 game in Europe, you could parlay that before you even wake up, and before you wake up the next day, you could have money in your bank account. Your gambling
jingle jangle in your pocket on a Sunday fun day.
Think about that.
So your chase game tonight, 10:30, San Diego State, UNLV. UNLV's kind of tricky, and they're at home, so just keep that in mind.
San Diego State, I got a good friend of mine who went there.
Not a bad school.
Not a bad school. They're all right. They're never gonna crack a top 10 or anything like that, but they might get to a top 20, 25. What's their record right now? Do they have it? I don't know.
Is it Dan McGuire? Was he the quarterback at San Diego State?
Dan McGuire, obviously Marshall Falk went there.
Oh yeah.
Dan Kawhi Leonard went there basketball.
Oh yeah, it's true. They had a good team with is it Jim Fisher, Jeff Fisher, whatever.
I believe Aaron Judge went there as well.
Wow. Trust me, as an 18-year-old kid, if I got an offer to go to San Diego State, sign me up. San Diego's great. So's the university. But then again, what do I know? The Heat defeated the Pacers 124-111 in the NBA Cup action yesterday. Bam Adebayo 30, Kevin Love 15 in just 12 minutes. He only played the third quarter, just scored 15. Boom! Miami and Indiana, they play again. They run it back tomorrow at 5 o'clock right here on 560 WQAM. Panthers, they looked in that losing skid. New Jersey Devils were not kind to the Panthers. They look to get right against a 15-2 Winnipeg Jets team at 7 o'clock tonight. Ooh, man. Marlins, they have hired Bill Hazel as the directing of pitching. He was a pitching coach the past 2 seasons with the Angels. It's too early for me to even start talking about like how the Marlins are going to bounce back this year. The schedule's not even out yet, Vlad, so we can't even figure out what Thursday, Wednesday, midday games we're going to go to, but let's them up. And we got a new guy here at the radio station, Steven Gonzalez, who's a huge baseball fan. We might have to include him in some of the field trips.
Well, I know this for a fact. Yankees are coming to town this next season.
Have some good days.
So I'll be there, and I'll probably be covering all the Braves games again. Once again, the 2 series that the Braves come down here.
I can guarantee you, if it's a midweek, midday game,
we're going to all of them.
All of them.
We're going to all of them.
My dude, Giuseppe and Nathan, if you're listening.
Any Wednesdays or Thursday afternoon games, we're there.
Just put us down. Yeah. Officer Perez, we're looking out for you. Look out for us.
My favorite server out there.
Oh, yeah, Jessica Rabbit.
The
Hidden Bar, although they don't really open the Hidden Bar at noon on a Monday or Tuesday. We tried to go.
But opening day will be open. I'll go to the 4 p.m. opening
game. I had to do that. I wonder who we're going to be on watch for this year. We'll see. Sandy's supposed to be back this year. See if Peter Bendix decides to hold on to him, or if he gets upset about her being part of the Kim Ang signings. So Kim Ang, in case you're wondering, she is what would you call it? What's she doing right now? She is a consultant for the Women's Softball Hall of Fame. That's no joke.
Really?
Yeah, that's one of her jobs. She has some other stuff that's going on too. I miss Kim Ang. I'm not saying I don't like Peter Bendix, but I do miss Kim Ang. Go to the playoffs.
Okay.
With that being said, let's go ahead and take a step into a date spa. A study reveals that 1 out of 3 Gen Zers is scared to use office bathrooms.
Yeah. They don't. Everybody. People are dirty, bro. It's funny that you mentioned that, because there's this. We had a conversation.
There's people at this
I had a conversation
radio
with,
station. There's
exactly. I had a conversation the other day with 2 members of the radio station, and they were talking about a certain bathroom that we use that's the closest one to the studios, and how it seems to be there's a certain male individual who's just like leaving his urine marks on the seat, and it's like, what's the problem of just raising the seat? Like, what's the problem?
Or cleaning up after yourself.
And also, mind you, we also work with ladies in this building.
It's a unisex bathroom,
and it's a unisexual bathroom because it's the only bathroom that's closed.
Unisexual bathroom.
What would you say?
Unisex.
I'm just gonna. Oh, why can't you just? I'm gonna call it unisex.
So is it unisex, or is it you and I sexy?
Unisex bathroom. Okay. I like to say unisex. That
sounds better.
But it's unisex. Okay, the bathroom shared by both men and women.
Yes,
or whatever gender you want to be.
Yeah,
and we would like for it to be clean.
I like my bathrooms clean.
Like I would think so. Because you're not trying to stay there long.
No,
That's not the bathroom you want to be there long.
I don't think there's any bathroom that I like hanging out in.
The downstairs bathroom where nobody goes to is pretty cool. The second floor.
Okay,
It's
but
colder
once
than,
again,
but it's colder than Antarctica in there.
When
But
has
nobody
there
wants
ever
to
been a
hang out.
time
Yeah.
when you're like, you know what, man?
Yeah, nobody
I'm
wants
gonna
to
go
hang out.
home,
Nobody's hanging out in the bathroom. You're not in high school anymore smoking a joint.
turn on the old Odyssey app, and
you're
hang
not
out in the
doing that.
bathroom.
You're not
doing
doing
whatever
that.
you're doing. Doing whatever you're doing.
You're not doing that. But
No.
yes, please have some consideration and think of others and
Look what
clean
you've done.
yourself.
Look what you've done. 1 out of 3 Gen Zers is even scared to use office bathrooms now.
And I agree with them. Like people are nasty. Like let me ask you this right now. Let me ask you this. If you ever use the bathroom and somebody's using the bathroom and you're washing your hands, right? And then they leave, do you ever want to take anything from that person?
No.
Exactly. You're not even shaking that person's hand, giving that person a pound or what up. You know what I mean? Like,
if I go to the bathroom and there's someone else in there, I just wash my hands and leave. That's all I do.
I'm not trying to have no short conversations with you.
There's nothing with anybody else in the same bathroom at the same time. Well,
I'm not having a chit chat conversation with you after I just
anything.
Right.
Anything. But now Gen Zers have to be scared of their office bathroom because some people urinate on the seats. They miss the
nasty
toilet
work.
bowl after they wipe, and like pick it up, man. It's your own. Or girl, whatever. I guess you'd be a man because we usually use men's bathrooms. I have to go into the women's bathroom a lot here at the radio station.
Wait, what?
Because we have that flushing problem where there's like a defect on our toilets where the toilet.
You know
will
what you gotta do with that,
will
right?
continually
You
flush.
gotta
I fix it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But I hate it because it's in the women's bathroom, and you know me, I'm a tree hugger, and I hate wasting water, and I don't want the company spending a ton of money. So I open the door and go, "Is anybody in here? It's Dan. I'm coming in. I'm gonna fix the toilet."
This is famous last words.
And I wait and I wait and I wait, and then I go fix the toilet. And I know one day our boss is gonna be sitting in there, and that's gonna be the end of me. All because I wanted to fix a toilet in the women's bathroom.
Mind your business.
During
Not your
work
business.
hours.
It's not your business.
While my boss was probably sitting in the toilet.
Not your business. Let that water run.
Pardon the pun. Not your business.
It's not your business.
We're going to get down to business next and talk about who could be the next quarterback 2 for the Dolphins on 560 WQAM.
Talk to me, man.
Talk about it. Hurricanes on a bye week. No worries. They got everything ahead of them if they win out. Dolphins, I mean, technically got everything ahead of them if they win out. We know earlier in this year we couldn't win a game without Tua Tagovailoa. Failure to plan is planning to fail. We cut Mike White. He got outplayed by Skylar Thompson. Skylar Thompson got in and didn't play hardly at all. Snoop Huntley tried his best. Offense, a little complicated. Wasn't that good. Nonetheless, Tim Boyle. A lot of people saying one of the major things that this Dolphins team needs to do, no matter how they finish the season in the offseason, is find a solid backup quarterback, which got me thinking, what options do we have that are viable and good? Of course, everyone says, go to the draft, go get a quarterback. Well, you probably, let's be honest, we're probably not going to have that great of a draft pick. Like you said, currently we stand at 10th overall, which is good, but the good quarterbacks are taken usually before the 5th pick, much less the 10th pick. I still think we're somewhere in the middle, like 15, 16 in the end of the day. Miami, I think, is about to go on a little bit of a win streak and win some games as the year goes on. If you say, let's just go to the draft, of course, there's a guy right down the street, Cam Ward from Miami. That would be great. But do you think Cam Ward slips into the double digits as far as draft picks? I would say
no,
probably not.
No.
Shador Sanders. Some people say wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. He's a pretty darn good quarterback. But once again, does he fall to the 10th, 12th, 14th, 16th pick?
No, unless the Dolphins are willing to fire Mike McDaniel.
Arch Manning will be eligible. Now, I don't know if he's going to go to the pros or not. He hasn't really even started very much at Texas.
No.
I don't think he's going to go to the pros even.
No.
He just doesn't have enough experience. The Mannings
No, he's not going to the pros.
They're in no hurry to get out of college.
No, he's cool. He's cool. He's good. He's going to be 26, 27. He'll be the guy.
The guy who might win the Heisman Trophy, although this Travis Hunter is something else, scores touchdowns, plays defense. He's all over the place. But another guy that might win the Heisman Trophy, Dylan Gabriel of Oregon.
Not a big fan.
Not a big fan. Broke the record for most touchdowns in a season in the NCAA.
Dude, I mean, he's been in college football the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like that portal and transfer portal is always going to help guys, and if they'll be able to put up numbers and the numbers follow them. So
he's somebody that could slip to the Dolphins range, and I wouldn't mind them taking him. I think he's got some tools. I think as a backup quarterback, I think he's pretty good. So he could. They got Riley Leonard at Notre Dame. I don't think he's going to be anything in the pros. I don't think I want a second. Garrett Nussmeier at LSU. I've watched enough of Garrett Nussmeier to tell you he's not going to be a solid 2.
And then I bet you the Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart is there. Jackson Dart's got some talent now. I'll give him credit for that. Indiana's Curtis Rourke. I've watched him. He ain't nothing special. And I definitely do not believe in Alabama's Jalen Milroe. He is a running back that can throw a couple passes here.
Yeah, but then this is where we want a mobile quarterback. We want a quarterback that can get out the pocket and escape the pass rush, and then, who has speed. But that will be a backup. Listen, maybe numero uno is your guy.
We know that.
And he's going to be a guy for the next 3 years,
but
possibly.
We need something
at
in
minimum
case of missing a game or two.
Right, but here's the thing. Even if he misses a game or two, this is a question I want to ask you. We don't know what the 25 team is going to look like. But we know that the core guys are going to be there. So if the core guys are going to be there, that means this team is still going to be a contender or will be trying to contend. So do you want a rookie backup quarterback, or do you want a veteran backup quarterback that can hold the fort down in case something similar next season happened like last season, like this season? So therefore, what I mean is, instead of going, what did you guys go when Tua was out? Was it 0-4?
Yeah.
You went 0-4. Can you have a guy go 2-2 or 3-1 and hold the fort down in case? And we're not talking about concussion, just in case an injury happens
sick.
where Tua has to be put on IR for 4 games.
Okay.
So that's a question that you need to ask yourself. Do you go to the young guy that you're going to have to develop anyway? So he's going to be young, inexperienced, and not ready yet, or do you go and sign a veteran quarterback with a lot of starts under his belt, very quick to adapt to any an offensive system, and just knows that he has to hold it down for four games.
Yeah. So we've gone through this whole thing. Tua's relatively young, and if he can stay relatively healthy, he's going to be a quarterback for a long time. So maybe getting a young guy, an apprentice, might not be your best bet. Maybe you want a guy, like you said, Vlad, that can come in, wily vet, understands football, can make plays, can get you a win here and there. Could I interest you in, as we said earlier, Danny Dimes?
I think Danny Dimes under Mike McDaniel.
Daniel Jones
might work.
I think it would. I'm not opposed.
When I mean work, I mean like as a backup.
As a backup.
Yeah. It might work. Just somebody hold you down. He's mobile.
He's got an arm.
He's got an.
He's not a lot of accuracy, but he's got an arm.
And he's mobile.
Yeah. Although this offense is kind of predicated on accuracy, but nonetheless. Can I interest you in old man Andy Dalton?
I don't think you can ever go wrong with Andy Dalton. Like, he's just a consummate professional.
Yeah, he's good. I know, like you said, he's not going to win every game, but he'll.
No, but he knows he's the backup.
He can win you some
yeah. He can hold you down. He definitely can hold you down for 4 weeks.
What about Jameis Winston, possibly?
See, I love Jameis, but
he's a slinger. He's a gunslinger.
Yeah, he might be throwing balls to the other. There's a great chance he'll be throwing the ball to the other team as much as he's throwing the ball to you. So I don't think you can go 4 weeks and then the backup's throwing like 4 interceptions, especially not in a Mike McDaniel offense where everything's about accuracy, getting the ball out quick and everything like that. Jameis tends to hold the ball a little long. But if you're talking about pre-game speeches, post-game speeches, during middle of the week press conferences, yeah. I'm all for Jameis.
Crab legs.
I'm all for Jameis.
What about the guy that any chance he gets to run away from his family, he does? Joe Flacco.
No.
Too much, man. We've seen enough of Joe Flacco. I'm
no.
sorry.
If you can't, come on, bro. They didn't even want to go back to Anthony Richardson. It was just that Flacco was turning the ball over.
Right. What about a guy we're going to see this coming Sunday? Because there's no guarantees that he's going to stay with the Raiders. Gardner Minshew.
You know what? Minshew Mania if Minshew won a couple of games like for the Dolphins, Minshew Mania would run crazy in Dania and Davie. They would love him. They would love him in Dania and Davie. Dania Beach and Davie and around Davie. Yeah, they would love him. But no, I couldn't do it.
I just don't think. I still think Sam Darnold will probably stay on with the Vikings next year.
What as a backup though?
As a tutor to JJ McCarthy.
It all depends on how the season ends. But if I help them get to the playoff or help them win the division, and then you kind of trying to tell me you're trying to tell me to take a back seat. I don't know if I could do that.
That's tough, yeah.
I don't know if I could do that, especially if there's some starting job out there that teams would rather take a shot at me instead of drafting a quarterback to develop. They know I've got 6-7 years. I think Sam Darnold will be a quarterback that many teams are going after in the offseason next season.
So right now, I think what I've talked myself into is unless somebody really has a dime in the draft, which I don't really see that happening too much, we might want to look at somebody like Andy Dalton, Daniel Jones, and maybe Jameis Winston. I think that's a solid, if you can get them for the right price, a solid backup. We've seen them. We know what they do. I'm okay with that. But we'll see. We still got to win this season. Once again, it's a 1 week at a time game season for the Dolphins. They put themselves in that position. Beat the Raiders. I think they will beat them pretty solidly. And then on to the next game. And we'll worry about QB1, QB2, QB3, like this year, QB4, whenever we need to. Need a backup.
Wait, who's QB2 now?
I want to say it's Skylar Thompson. I mean, take your pick. Skylar Thompson, Tim Boyle. I mean, actually, they haven't activated. Like the past couple weeks, they've just had, I think Skylar Thompson as the backup, and they haven't activated a third quarterback. That's how bad it is.
Yo, bro.
Skylar Thompson's going to be in USFL or whatever they call it.
XFL?
United Football League, UFL.
You really think so?
Are the Dolphins going to bring him back?
Oh, man. That's McDaniel's boy.
Sky's
man.
the limit?
That's McDaniel's boy, man.
Okay. We'll see. But yeah, next year there definitely is going to be a different quarterback too on this team. Don't know if it's going to be a vet.
That's the question. That's the question they have to answer. Like, do they want a vet or do they want a guy to develop? I think they're going to have to go vet, because if you went with Skylar and that was a guy you drafted in 7th round and you developed for 3 years and it wasn't it. It was not it.
I'll say it. I want Daniel Jones.
You don't want McCorkle?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
McCorkle's decent. He is pretty decent though. But yeah, no, I want Daniel Jones, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Don't take me out of context on that one.
Let Zach Wilson be the backup of the Miami Dolphins next season.
I saw him get trounced by the Dolphins and have no internal clock in his head at all when they played that 30-0 game last year.
I think it's gonna happen. You guys like getting our leftovers.
Yeah, I know. See where that got us.
Yeah.
Oh. Gonna close out the show next here on 560 WQAM.
missed. And with Chapters, easily jump to the topics that you care about most, like the latest updates from your team. Your sports talk, your way. The Odyssey app. Download it today.
Cool way to listen to WQAM, the free Odyssey app. Download it today and make us your favorite station. Same great shows, same great games. Plus, you can use the rewind feature and listen to anything you missed. Hurry!
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Oh, Pitt, a minute 36 away from upsetting Clemson. They just made a field goal. It's 20-17. Even the kicker's going, calm down. Come on, let's finish this out. Let's get this win. No Canes game this week. Bye week. They control their own destiny. And then the Dolphins also kind of controlling their own destiny. We're really just worried about tomorrow, 1 o'clock against the Raiders. We're going to have the pregame for you, Game Day Uncensored, with Brendan Tobin and Alejandro Solana starting at 9 o'clock. Tomorrow night, I'll have the post game starting at around 8 o'clock right here on 560 WQAM. Post game, always a whole lot of fun. Colorado goes in there 49-24, defeats Utah. Don't look now, but Colorado's 8-2, and Travis Hunter may be on that inside lane to win the Heisman Trophy.
So Deion Sanders took a 1-win team last year. They won 4 games, I believe. They won 4 or 5 games.
I want to say it was 4.
4, right? They were the talk of college football last season, and then the injury to Travis Hunter happened, and then they slowed down. They lost, I think, the remaining games. And then, but to go to 1-4 in your first season is a pretty damn good season. And then your second year, you double it up by winning 8, and it could be more. And you have an opportunity to go to the college football playoffs. Like we said earlier in the show today, Kuzan, it's definitely going to see very interesting. It's going to be very interesting on Monday and Tuesday to see Paul Feinbaum, who was it, Heather Dinich, and all the Colorado Buffalo haters and the Deion haters. It's going to be very interesting next week what they say as this team continues to move towards the college football playoffs, and they might win the Big 12. I mean, if they win the Big 12 championship, that's going to be unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah. And we learned earlier today, of course, Daniel Solana joined us. His brother Alejandro Solana texted in and told us that the semifinals and quarterfinals of the college football playoff will be the bowl games, the New Year's Six. And then, of course,
yes, quarters and semis. The New Year's Six will be part of the college football.
All right. Well, tomorrow we got the Dolphins. We're going to be hyped up about that tonight. We've got the Panthers. Can't forget about that.
7 p.m. So it's not a 6 p.m. start. It's a 7 p.m. start. I think it has to do with hockey night in Canada. That's the big Saturday is a big day of hockey in the country of Canada.
Every day's a big day of hockey.
Well, yeah, but Saturday is like the big night. Saturday is like their TNT or Thursday night doubleheader for basketball or ESPN's doubleheader on Wednesdays and Friday night. Hockey's their big night.
I got enough fighting in last night with the Tyson and Paul fight. You're not done, Vlad. You're going to watch the UFC fight tonight.
309, baby, at the world's famous arena, Madison Square Garden. John Jones versus Stipe Miocic. And I can't wait. This is going to be a great fight between two of the best heavyweights of all time. The greatest
just scored a
champion,
touchdown, by the way.
Wow. Wait, was off that the kick return or just a play?
I think it was just a play.
Oh, he did the Rob Van Dam, pointed the back of his jersey.
3 plays, 75 yards, 20 seconds. Now there's a minute 16. This could be one of those fun ACC games where in like the last minute and a half they score.
How many touchdowns do you think they can score in like the next minute 16?
3, man, easily 3.
I would love a kickoff return touchdown.
Yeah, and then like a long bomb return pass touchdown, and then last play of the game, 58-yard field goal. Boom. That'd be awesome. Where are you watching it, Vlad? Are you going to be at Duffy's and Plantation? You're going to be at home?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I've been, I've been wanting to go out recently, just to get my mind off things and just enjoy life. But I don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe Duffy's. Maybe Duff's. Maybe go see Sabrina.
Is Sabrina working tonight? Yeah, Sabrina will work. Sabrina and Justin will be working.
Definitely
tonight.
might go.
Sean, the general manager, just tell him. He knows. Everybody knows who you are, Vlad, over there. Come on.
Everybody knows my name.
Everybody knows your face and name. I was out last night in Wynwood for a large part. Velvet. I went to a place called Shaw and the Velvet Taco, which was really cool. I'm going to stay home tonight and cook. So I'm cooking some type of noodle soup. So check my social media at Dan Day Radio, because to be honest, I'm pretty bad at cooking, but pretty out of it when I'm cooking too. So it's something usually makes for some entertaining. People have been asking me to post more videos. So I'm going to do that. And then I get ready for this Dolphins game, man. I think the Dolphins win tomorrow. Maybe not roll, but win pretty easily tomorrow. I think the Dolphins are peaking at not the right time, but better late than never. We shall see. Vlad, are you going to back me on that? You think it's going to be a Dolphins win? You're going to be out at the game, right?
I will be at the game.
Okay.
And,
I don't know if it's going to be worth checking in with you, because you're going to be at home probably sleeping by the time I'm on the air.
You're going to be on like that 11:45 tomorrow night.
Tell us some reaction from the locker room.
I
You mean yesterday?
don't even remember the game.
Yesterday?
What, yesterday? Like really? Yeah, I'll be at the game. Can't wait. I want to see if they could stack it up, man. I want to see how they're going to stack it up. This is it's going to be interesting. They can't start the game slow. They start off slow. You might hear a couple of boo birds early on.
The boo birds have been out lately.
Yeah, you're going to hear some boo birds coming on early. But here's the other thing. Raider fans travel very well.
Yeah, silver and black attack, man.
So it's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. I don't know when we're going to be on next, Vlad. Just check out our social media at Vlad2078 at Dan Day Radio.
We will be doing the post game of Dolphins Packers Thanksgiving night.
So don't get too much tryptophan in the system, and just hang out with us, man. We're going to be everywhere. So for my cousin Vladimir Lewisson, I am Dan Day, and you've been listening to Sports Day on 560 WQAM.
Later,
Slug.
Football